Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your friend, Mr. BDA, flying solo tonight in order to cover the post-fight of the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder heavyweight matchup that we had last night. Pretty entertaining. We knew it was going to be high drama because of the stakes that were involved in this fight. Let me tell you something. There's a lot to talk about tonight. I will ask people if they want to join. Let's everybody get together at the same time, because we don't want to be wasting time. Like every time we're talking, somebody new comes in, and then we got to get their side of the story. Everybody try to get in at the same time. I'm gonna babble on for a while until everybody gets ready, and then we'll start, because we don't have unlimited time tonight. So that's all I ask. Hope everybody is doing fantastic out there. So far, we got a bunch of people in the chat room. Shout out to Jason Bourne, Arjun Ganapathy, Nino Gaji, Siauki Razak, Azi, the Shepherd Sons. Let's see what they're saying, first of all. I have a good guess of what they were going to say. Arjun says Tyson Fury all the way. Great fight. Jason Bourne says Fury won every round except the knockdown rounds for Wilder. Arjun Ganapathy says 9-3 or 8-4, and that's being biased for Wilder. Okay. I had Nino Gaji says I had it 8 rounds to 4 for Fury, 114, 112. Wilder lost. Sayuk Razak says the judge that gave Wilder the first 4 rounds was crazy. Shepherd Zon says yeah, Wilder lost. Nino Gaji says Ray Charles could tell you Fury won. The Punisher says hey BDA, what's up Punisher? Pete Stammer says what's up people? Punisher says good to have you back. I never leave. I just don't do shows as much. It's Butcher, the one that's hosting most of the shows nowadays. But I'm always in the back. I'm in the background. It's like that guy whenever you go to a porn theater, to watch porn in the movie theaters. They still have those in certain places. There's always one guy hiding in the shadows doing stuff to himself. That's PDA for you. BDA Boxing and Blunt says got it for the big man. You can't feel too bad for the guy. The guy made millions. Shelton Film Production says yo guys, Fury. All right, something. Oh, jeez, Louise, something fucked up there. The connection almost got fucked up there. Yeah, we're still streaming. All right. The Punisher says, hey, everybody. As he says, good fight, crap card. Yeah, that card was, ugh. I didn't even watch the undercard, to tell you. I saw a bit of the end of the Ortiz fight. Can't imagine that being pay-per-view. People used to complain about Bob Arum and Golden Boy. They're shit undercards. This was right up there when it comes to awful undercards. The Punisher says, hey, double A and Boxing Blunt says Ortiz fight was funny. Wilder fans are on suicide watch, says James Erickson. Stu was pissed last night. He went to feed the LBC members to the pigs like bricked up, says Nino. Yeah, that's the thing. Listen, by the way, for people wondering what King Bucho's take on this fight was, he calls it an emergency broadcast. He did an emergency broadcast last night. Actually, in the wee hours of the morning. So if you want to see what he has to say, Stu was on there. Who else was there? Recognize McGregor Boxing, I think, and Corruption in Boxing was there as well. I think Official Boxing Scorecards. Scholar B Major says, BDA, keep it up. I respect your work, man. I love it. Absolutely. Overhand says, so who you got, BDA? I tell you what, my prediction was Wilder by controversial decision. Wasn't that far off, was I, guys? This was one of those fights. I remember when people were saying that Canelo Golovkin, the first fight, prior to the first fight, people were saying Golovkin wasn't going to be able to get a decision in Vegas. And of course, most people ended up getting that one right. I felt the same way coming into this fight. I did not think that Fury was going to be able to win a decision. Not with everything hanging in the balance, that Wilder Fury Joshua mega fight, and still a Fury versus Joshua fight could still be a mega fight in England, obviously, but with the machinations in place with the PBC and all that, did not see it happening. And who I had winning, Fury all the way, even with the 2 knockdowns he suffered. Wilder looked clueless in there. His eye turned into a vagina. Well, which eye was the right eye? You could have fucked that right eye. So what I'm saying is obviously Fury won that fight. The funny thing is, I went to Boxing Scene, which is a cesspool, really. The forums are a cesspool of waste. You got one or two good posters. But I mean, for every good poster, you got 10 shit posters. And some guys are saying, well, because they released the CompuBox numbers. I don't even know how accurate these are, but I'm putting them up on the screen here. And you can tell, I mean, it was a low output fight. We knew that coming in, that was going to be the case. But who was landing the head snapping jabs? Who was landing the combinations whenever there were any combinations? It was Fury. And some people are saying, oh yeah, look at the numbers, the CompuBox, not CompuBox, PunchStat numbers. They're pretty close. I mean, really, you could say the same thing about Mayweather-Pacquiao, the infamous Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that nobody wants to watch anymore. Again, a rematch or anything. And that was a very low output fight. And some people in this chat room and in this panel have said that Pacquiao won the fight. I disagree. But using the same standards a lot of these Wilder fans are using, or you could certainly make the argument that Pacquiao won that fight. After all, he did stun Mayweather 2 times in the fight, so why not? If you're going to count grazing punches to the elbows, and a couple of times of a guy being hurt, I know Wilder actually dropped Fury, but we could make the same argument if we're grasping at straws here. Omar Ali X thinks Wilder's the lineal heavyweight champion. 100% X's, Matty Wilder. Oh, 100% X's. 100% X's had it 14-0, nothing for Wilder. And Wilder is a 50%. You got to remember, X is a 5%er. He thinks that only 5% of the brothers are actually touched or understand the true nature of life. And so that's what you have with him. By the way, before we continue, I do have to talk about the Adonis Stevenson Gvozdyk fight, which got lost in all on the heavyweight hype. I was surprised. I thought Stevenson was going to stop Gvozdyk. And of course, Gvozdyk ended up stopping Stevenson in the 12th round of a fight in which he was the dominant fighter, Gvozdyk that is. And then, of course, we had the news coming in that Stevenson suffered a brain injury. And he had to be induced in a chemical coma. Chemical Coma, that's a good name for a music album. All jokes aside, Stevenson, it's interesting because the guy was a piece of shit for what in the past. Some of the things he did to women, pimping them out, torturing them, threatening to sodomize one with a knife. I'm not kidding. Go read up the details. And so I've been reading a lot of people saying, the guy's a scumbag. He deserves everything he got. All I'm going to say is, the guy, he paid his debt to society. On the one hand, what he did was very shitty, and he only did about 3 years. So you got to wonder whether that tilts or that balances out the bad he did in the past. All I know is that if we can't allow a person to redeem themselves, then I guess we got nobody has any hope. Really, I mean, you got to have some standards, and you got to say, listen, this guy paid his debt, and now he's in a chemical coma. Whether that's karma or not, whether that's a Gerald McClellan thing, I don't know. And I hope the guy gets through it. The good news is for Adonis Stevenson is that apparently he's in stable condition now. And he's nearing more and more a stable condition, according to RDS, which is the equivalent of ESPN in Canada here in Quebec. And they're having all the updates, and they're saying that Stevenson is in a more stable condition. So good luck to him. Unfortunately, this might mean that his career is over. So I don't think Baidu Jack is going to get that rematch anytime soon. And that just goes to show you the levels, man. I mean, Baidu Jack's a pretty good fighter. He couldn't come close to doing what Gvozdyk did to Stevenson. So my question is, and I was asking some people this last night, who do you guys think is better, Bivol or Gvozdyk? Interesting question, isn't it? Who has the best win? Do you guys prefer Bivol's win over Barrera? Or do you guys prefer Gvozdyk win over Stevenson? Because I know a lot of you guys weren't high on Stevenson, that he was an old man, shitty stamina. So you guys tell me. What else did I wanted to touch upon here? Oh yeah, it's that the fucking back to the Tyson Fury fight. A couple of things. We talked about this in the video we did over at BDA Live. I pointed out how Tyson Fury couldn't risk dipping down and trying to roll with every right hand, because if he got caught in the temple or in the back of the head or whatever, he was going to go down. And lo and behold, the 2 times he went down was because of shots to the temple. He kept dipping down, and Wilder timed him. Wilder's timing ain't all that bad, guys. You got to start giving the guy credit. Yes, he's all over the place. He's got shitty technique, but he's got fast hands and good accuracy. Now, of course, he's the type of fighter that's not going to age well. Once those reflexes start waning, he's gonna start getting fucking knocked out. But for the moment, he makes it work. The other thing was that Precise and Recognize had pointed out in another one of the podcasts that Wilder's power isn't all that great long distance. When he catches you in the middle distance, that's when he drops you. And indeed, that's what ended up happening. When Fury would dip down and leave his temple open, it was Wilder's short right hand, or not short, but shorter right hand, which ended up dropping him and hurting him. And credit to fucking Tyson Fury. The memes have started about how he got up. I thought he was done. When he got hit with that, I thought, and because people at my gym had told me, some of the coaches told me, listen, Wilder's going to catch him eventually. He might get outboxed for 8 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever, but he's going to catch him. And once he caught him with that devastating knockdown, I said, shit, those guys were right. And then it turns out they weren't right because Tyson Fury got up and should have gotten the win. So essentially what I'm trying to say is my coaches don't know shit. And I'll let them know about that on Monday when I go back to the gym. Let me tell you. Mighty Claire says Frank Maloney's balls are in a jar in the mantelpiece. My God, what's going on here? What's going on in this fucking chat room? Weed Degree says Wilder will write AJ for a payday, get folded, and drop the cruiser. Yeah, then both the guys were letting Joshua have it at the end there on the fucking post-fight conference. The other thing that made me laugh was Wilder, he's got good reflexes, like I said, but he was getting tagged with that jab. Come on, anybody that thinks, and some people are saying, oh, but Wilder dropped him 2 times. Come on, guys, let's stop being disingenuous. Let's stop being intellectually dishonest. You got a brains and you got a pair of eyes and you know 1 or 2 things about boxing. You know Tyson Fury won that fight. Also, like Max Kellerman always says, who would you rather have been at the end of the fight? Did Wilder look to you guys like a guy that knew he won the fight or that thought he won the fight? Nah. Trust me, deep down in his heart, he knows he lost that fight. And I wasn't surprised when I heard the decision because I was expecting that. I was expecting, if it was a close fight, I was expecting Wilder to get the decision. And that's the other thing. Some guy in a forum said, well, if the fix was in, they would have given Wilder the win. No, they wouldn't have, because then that would have created even more outrage. The judges are there to play around with rounds and give the guy that they favor the benefit of the doubt. And that's what they did with Deontay Wilder. They weren't going to give him the decision because he wasn't winning enough rounds. Other than the 2 rounds where he won the knockdown, I didn't give him another round. Maybe if I rewatch the fight, I'll be able to give him a round. He did land a couple of jabs here and there. His right hand was virtually non-existent, save for the 2 knockdowns. He landed 1 good left hook that I can remember to the body, and 1 sweeping left hook upstairs. And like I said, a couple of jabs, but Tyson Fury was outboxing him all the way. All right, Bucho. All right, Bucho, if you're listening, can you start sending the invites, please? And I'll just keep telling you my thoughts. The other thing that made me laugh was Tyson Fury's balls. This guy's got balls of steel, man. He gets dropped. Everybody thinks he's dead at the end of the fight. He gets up and then he puts his hands behind his back. And this guy has to be one of the best athletes in the world also because of the fact that he's close to 300 pounds, 6 foot. He's 6'8" or 6'7.5". He's not 6'9". Don't get it twisted. But still, for such a big guy, the way he's able to move, the fact that he was able to survive, I mean, my goodness gracious, that was fucking insane, man. This guy's got great stamina, great survival instincts, and you got to give him all the you got to give him all the fucking credit in the world. And the other thing that made me laugh was when Wilder started playing his mind games, and. And after, I think it was after the first knockdown, he started like licking his lips, and then the Fury immediately starts flicking the tongue, imitating him. I laughed out loud after when he started doing that. And then when at the end of 1 round, I think it was the round afterward, when he started beating the shit out of Wilder after the first knockdown, and then the bell ends, rings, the round ends, and they're tied up together, and then Fury starts flicking the tongue real close to Wilder's face. It looked like he was gonna lick him. I said, my goodness gracious. The other thing is that the way that Tyson Fury was flicking that tongue, you can tell that guy has got good, probably has good pussy eating skills. Now, I don't know if to respect him for that, because personally, in my private life, I don't think you're a real man if you're going down on a woman. The woman's supposed to go down on you, and that's the way I see it. Just like the woman's supposed to cook, the guy's supposed to earn the bacon, and that's it. By the way, I see
don't knock it if you ain't tried it, bro.
Shut up. And by the way, we got that's the voice of Stu. I can't believe you're still up, man. All right, hold on a second.
I wasn't bad
I
though.
told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All right. Stu, thank you for being on. By the way, I saw that you were doing that emergency broadcast with Bucho last night or in the morning. What the fuck?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
That's fucking insane. What's the matter with you? Don't you sleep?
Well, yeah, I've been sleeping all day. That's why I'm up now. I've been sleeping all day. I've got to be up at 8 tomorrow for work, so my sleeping pattern's all fucked up. My sleeping pattern's all fucked up because I've been sleeping all day. But I was that angry, I couldn't get to sleep right. The decision. It made me that angry, I couldn't get to sleep.
But come on, Stu, weren't you expecting this?
Nah, yeah, I mean, Apology called it. I think you did as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, Apology got it 100% right. He called it a draw.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
you just see when it's. I mean, I know the 2 knockdowns. That's 4 points then. But I gave that guy 2 rounds, and I gave him a draw. So basically, I just couldn't see away from him winning that, and I just didn't think they'd do that to him. I really didn't. I thought if it was closer on the cards, if Wilder had won a couple of more rounds, then you could probably have tipped it to Wilder because that's what knockdowns do.
Right.
He didn't win anything. Even the rounds he got the knockdown in, he was getting dominated in that as well. So for me, there was probably just a fraction. I'm cutting out.
Yeah.
Cutting out a bit. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. He had his moment in round 2, and he had his moment in round 11, and for a few seconds, and that was it for the fight for me. You know, he landed a few nice stiff.
Oh boy.
Jab. It's a stiff one when he throws it. Yeah. But you know, anyone with a fucking boxing brain can see who won that fight. And it just and the worst thing about it is people are trying to convince themselves because they're not true boxing fans. They're not, you know, they've got an agenda for their channel. So they're trying to convince us all that to see something different than what we saw.
Listen, now, fuck those people, man. Fuck, I've told
Fury winning that fight.
Listen,
they're
fuck
trying to convince us otherwise.
Stu, fuck those people, man. I mean, listen, we've been watching boxing since before YouTube, before this whole gang warfare started. And I say gang warfare in the sense of, you know, streetwise. These people are deluded, and I don't think we should give them any more time. Anybody that's just a fucking tribesman and just is rooting for one guy because they look like each other, they're not real boxing fans, and I don't want to waste any breath on them. That's my take on it. And I don't think you should waste your breath on them either.
You're right. You're right, because when you look at it, you look around the internet, you've got ex-world champions, like black world champions as well,
right?
Saying that Fury dominated. You've got Andre Ward saying it was a travesty to boxing. You've got Lennox Lewis saying he gave Fury 10 rounds. You've got he was going insane on Showtime. Said, what's the point of him even doing his job anymore? Fights are going to be scored like that.
By the way, hold on a second. Let's get back to that. But before we do, Stu he's been up since. I mean, he stayed up till 7 in the morning to do that emergency broadcast. Now it's midnight over there, and he's still here with us. He's gonna need a nice old fry up to get him up in the morning. We actually have footage of Stu eating a fry up. So if you can look at the screen, we're gonna show that to you there. There you see, nice delicious fry up. Look at that. Isn't that? Oh, that looks delicious.
I usually stop and get myself a McDonald's breakfast because obviously the fry-ups take a while to cook. So I don't have time to have the fry-ups in the morning, I'm afraid, because I usually leave it late. But I usually on the way to work. It's only a couple of miles down the road. There's a McDonald's, so I drive through that every morning. But yeah, I definitely need some. I mean, this is the thing with boxing. It's a
shit, Stu, you keep cutting off, man.
You know, I'm tired. But we'll get back to the comment about all these ex-boxers. I mean, the whole MMA community had Fury winning it. I mean, so let's be real. Who am I gonna, you know, whose word am I gonna take? Andre Ward, Tyson, Lennox Lewis, or fucking T-Bone and Deshawn's fucking word?
But listen, everybody worth their salt. Paulie Malignaggi, Andrew Ward. Apparently, Floyd Mayweather walked out disgusted. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nonstop with the only people that say that Wilder won are the people that can't admit that they were wrong and that they didn't know shit about boxing. Before we continue,
Or low IQ dumbasses like Clarissa Shields.
oh, did she say she had Wilder winning?
Yeah, and guess what? Shakur
Oh.
Stevenson replied to us. He goes, "I love you, sis, but no way in hell, man. You're wrong on this one." So even Shakur Stevenson had to put her right.
That's right.
She said it
Shakur
was a robbery.
Stevenson.
Wilder won. She said it was a robbery. Wilder won clearly.
My brother Shakur Stevenson, keeping it real. By the way, before we continue, we got Precise on the line.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
All right. Fantastic. And we also have AA Blunts in the house. Let's start with Precise because he wasn't there for that emergency broadcast. Precise, surprised?
What's up, man?
Or, oh, well, first of all, yeah, good to have you on board, man. Surprised or business as usual for boxing?
I don't know about it. It's a great day to be white.
Yeah, you're cutting off there, man.
Fuck me. Is this better?
Yeah, just keep talking and we'll see if you... Maybe it
Yeah, I
stabilizes.
guess I can do BDA and porn at the same time. Fuck.
No, you can't. I've tried it.
Anyway. What was
At
the
least
question?
you can get porn. At least you can get porn.
Ecuadorian porn. Well, listen, yeah, just give us your thoughts on the fight.
Well, I thought Fury fucked up because he had so many opportunities he didn't take, especially in the 12th round. I mean, I really felt like if he just stepped on the gas, he would have gotten Wilder out of there, and nobody believed he could get a decision. Let's just get that out of the way. You know, I hate how whenever we make predictions now we all instead of talking about boxing, we end up talking about the corruption. It's just annoying. I understand it, but it's just annoying, man. It's like, is what it is.
Shit. Cutting off, man.
10 runs. Fuck.
Yeah, you keep cutting
said
off,
if-
man.
Let me jump off and come back on.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Boxing Blunts. Were you there at yesterday at the emergency broadcast?
No. I'm
Okay.
that was McGregor.
Yeah, that was McGregor. All right. Yeah, I started getting you Brits confused. So, what were your thoughts on the fight?
I'm kind of pissed off. I was the only one who picked Fury on the panel.
Yeah, I
was the
think you
only
did.
person who picked Fury.
You know, the only good thing to come out of this is Tyson Fury is actually obviously it's something on his record that he's going to look back on, and he's going to say every time he looks at it, he's going to say, "Well, I got fucking robbed." But the only thing to good, he's a bigger personality now than he would have been if he'd have won. If you know what I mean, I think it's made him a bigger star for some reason. We're in a society where sometimes even in defeat or a draw, you can become a bigger name overnight. And Tyson Fury has won the hearts of the British public. Trust me, the amount of British fans, I live in Britain, so I know, the amount of British fans that have basically shown so much love towards Fury. He's never got this before. It was all about Joshua. And I think they're starting to move more towards Fury and leave Joshua behind, sort of thing. And Joshua's just protecting himself in London and Cardiff. So everyone's getting a bit pissed off with fucking Joshua fighting these guys that, he's going to roll over in a few rounds. They want to see him fight the best. And Fury went over there, and I think he's in America. I mean, Wilder, by defeat, but this draw has cost Wilder big time because it was his breakthrough fight. And it's the best fight he's ever been in, and he's got a decision that he shouldn't have got, a draw at that. His stock has gone down, just me, because a lot of the Americans are so disgusted by the decision.
but he
I
managed
mean,
to
the
go
story.
away.
Well, I mean,
A
can
lot of
you?
them are showing a lot.
Managed to go abroad.
Yeah, but can you blame?
Get knocked down twice and still not get beat, which is that's amazing in itself. But then, as a Tyson Fury fan, I'm not happy with that. It's not that I'm not happy with the result. I'm not happy with what Tyson Fury got knocked down twice. He shouldn't be getting knocked down. He shouldn't be switching off like that and ducking his head, and like the way he got knocked down was avoidable.
Yeah, exactly.
I said the same thing last night. I was really angry with him for that. All he had to do is just sit on the back foot and just keep his distance, keep away from Wilder, because Wilder was fucking clueless. Every time he went to throw, Fury was out of there. So he could have just stuck to the game plan. But he just
this fucking thing.
Yeah, but you know what?
he got fucking hit.
A draw is not a good result.
Yeah.
For Tyson Fury. A draw might
No.
not have a rematch. Like,
No,
you
it's
don't
not,
get
man.
a rematch for that.
But it isn't on his record. It's not, and I know you're saying boxing wise, but for the popularity, he's won the hearts of a lot of people, Americans included, and I think it's done him a favour for his brand. I think he's going to be. I think he could be as big as Joshua now. I really do.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, Joshua's got that advantage of being a little bit more entertaining, and he's built like He-Man and all that. So from a marketing standpoint, he could be. Now listen, hold on, I want to get back to Precise here because he had to drop off because of technical issues. Precise. First of all, let me ask you something, because you had said, you and Recognize had said that the middle distance was where Wilder was going to be dangerous, not at full distance, extending that right hand. It was close distance. And at first knockdown, especially with fucking Tyson Fury, he kept dipping down, leaving his temple exposed. That was a big no-no. We talked about that before the fight. Do you think, when that first knockdown happened, did you think, all right, this might actually be good for Tyson Fury? Because he was getting a little bit too overconfident in there.
Well, no, I was, like AA just pointed out, I was disappointed with Tyson Fury because he dropped his hands, he stuck his tongue out or something. He started taunting Deontay Wilder and walked himself straight into the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought he could be Floyd Mayweather on the ropes. And yeah, he's pretty good bobbing and weaving, but Wilder, all he has to do is graze you and you're going down. So he was, I don't enjoy the type of clowning that he likes to do, because it's not boxing, first and foremost, and secondly, it doesn't do anything for me or you as a fighter. It just gets you in trouble. And then he made that same mistake later on in the 12th round, that, like you pointed out, he gave up his height. Why the fuck would you do that? You know what I mean? So when I say he fucked up, that's one of the reasons.
Exactly, absolutely. And he was clowning from the first round on, and I remember thinking, listen, if you're gonna clown, I'm not a fan of showboating, especially not in the first round against a huge puncher like Deontay Wilder. I mean, that was just insane, and he deserved everything he got by getting dropped. And hopefully in the rematch, for his sakes, he keeps that guard tight and that defense tight.
Yeah, he got knocked out.
All right. We got 100% X on the line.
That fight was over.
That fight was over. Now, Deontay Wilder didn't quite perform so well there, X. I mean, he was getting outboxed. It seems to me like Wilder isn't the 5%er that you thought he was.
No, I think you guys are all wrong. You're all wrong. First of all, I was at the fight. Okay, I was there. I was invited by my brother Wilder. And I saw a totally different fight. I had it 14-0. Really?
14-0.
Yeah, the 2 knockdowns, and I thought he won every round. But that second knock, what the fuck are you laughing at? What's Stu laughing at? Why is he laughing at me? You see, BDA, you got to get control of these people.
I know, man. I don't even know how you got in, to tell you the truth. I mean, if I had better control, you wouldn't have made it in here, man. And the other thing is excessive hold. The referee allowed Fury to excessively hold after the knockdown, right? That's the only reason why he was able to survive.
I think
Wilder held just as much, man.
Nah, Precise. You're
all right, first of all, let me explain something to you, okay? That fucking referee should be investigated.
That's right.
2 reasons. The holding, the excessive holding. That's number 1. Second reason, the second reason why I think he should be investigated. I don't know if it was just me. Nah, I know what I saw. Put it this way. He gave him a 50 count. That was 50.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
50 seconds.
I agree. Those two okay. Fury outboxed Wilder, but he did not win the story of the fight. That should have gone to Wilder. So I agree with you, X. You're completely right about this.
I thought he won every round.
Me too.
And Stuart, don't laugh at me, okay? And
All
you
right.
motherfuckers,
All right, listen,
all you devils
X,
in here, don't be laughing at me.
we're waiting
I gotta
for-
go. I know.
Yeah, we're waiting for Recognize to come in because we want to hear his take again. I mean, let's see what he
fuck
has
that
to.
motherfucker. Okay, I know what
Oh.
he's gonna say. Fuck him.
All right. Well, X, thanks for dropping by. We appreciate your input as always. There you go. The one, the only X. All right, let's get back to business here. So let's put it this way. Do you guys think Joshua could have done better than Fury? I mean, not as well, not as good boxing wise, but he does have better power, better combinations. I mean, better offense. Does he get taken out by Wilder's monumental power, or does he beat Wilder? What do you guys think?
I think he gets taken out.
I think
Because-
Wilder, but
Go ahead, man.
I think Wilder wins that fight.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think Joshua will get in Wilder's head to get him swinging all wild like that. I think Wilder's much more composed against someone like Joshua, and he makes Joshua come to him. And Wilder's dangerous when you go after him. And
Yeah,
I
but the
think,
thing is, when he's at range, he's dangerous, bro. But why do fighters just keep fighting this guy at range where he's the most dangerous? Why are they always fighting on the back foot or at distance? The minute Tyson Fury was walking him back and throwing body shots, man, all the guy does is cover up. I mean, that's when he looked vulnerable. But now, that's what I'm saying. Tyson Fury needs to forget about all this boxing all the time. I know sweet science, it's lovely to watch now and again, but sometimes you have to fucking grit your teeth, and he threw that away. Wilder was there for the taking. And Azzy in the chat,
Yeah,
I mean,
but that,
I don't know
that
what
doesn't mean he has
about
to.
Fury.
But that doesn't mean he has to stop boxing. You could box and knock somebody out
Exactly.
with boxing. He needed to be more aggressive. Yeah, there were points
That's my point. Yeah, that's my point, bro. There was
No, I
times where he had
agree.
to.
There were times where he timed them beautifully and he landed clean right hands, but instead of following through, he's always pulling back. You know, he's as soon as he lands his punch, he snaps his punches so he could pull them back and not be there for the counter.
Mhm.
But when you have a sure shot against someone like Wilder and he's wide open, you gotta step into that punch and punch
Yes.
through him, and there will be no counters coming back because he will be
Well,
either
then-
on the canvas or hurt. But
Them
So-
straight rights that Fury was hitting with him, they were hurting Wilder, but they were just very little and often, weren't they?
he let him
weren't-
off the
sorry, they
hook.
weren't often.
I thought he could have stopped him in the last round. He let him off the hook. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, he should have been throwing them often, but he's throwing them very little. That's what I tried to say. Very tight. But,
Seventh, eighth round, and the 12th round, Deontay had no legs, man. He was gassed, and
He was
Fury
gassed, yeah.
just
He was.
let him off. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but
Oh boy,
Fury has him hurt and
No.
he starts holding. Why?
because he was fucking tired
I
himself
don't
too,
know.
man. He was tired. He just got dropped. I mean, come on, yeah, the guy, he's too moving the way he does, 250 pounds. It does take its toll on you, man.
yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
like I said, anyone that says Wilder, like Azzy in the chat saying about Fury fouled, it's time for him to retire. I mean, that's just the mentality of the American boxing fan at the moment. Well, not all of them, because there's some very good knowledgeable boxing fans out there, but there's a lot of clowns, and I think Azzy, I'm starting to put her in that bracket, because anyone that can't give Tyson Fury the credit he deserves.
Yeah, the guy's a bit of a troll. I wouldn't pay too much attention to what he has to say.
It's a girl, I think. I think it's a girl.
I'm pretty sure it's. By the way, don't assume genders. Come on, what are you doing? You're supposed to call him.
You have to ask for their pronoun. You have to ask
Exactly.
for
Oh,
pronoun.
well,
Like,
I asked her. She said she might be a she boy. I don't know. You know what these? I mean,
All right, hold on. We gotta get to Bucho. Bucho's got the
is
predictions.
that Azzies? Did you say Azzies?
Asses.
Yeah.
That's that
he's
clown
told
who
me
trolls
loads of
me in the
times,
chat
and
all the time.
He's a matchroom. I think he's one of the matchroom trolls.
All right, hold on.
Oh, he's a
Is he?
fucking cock, man. He fucking
Aye.
trolls me in the chat all the time, man.
We gotta
So
get
it's a
to.
boy then. It's not a girl.
It's probably
It's
a
a
fucking.
Zim. or a Zur.
It's a zero, yeah. We gotta get. I want to get Bucho. Bucho just came in and he has the predictions. I wanted to get that rundown of the BDA staff predictions. See who got it right, who got it wrong. Bucho, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I
Fantastic.
never made a prediction. Fuck no.
All right,
All right.
Bucho. Yeah.
Stu said late round stoppage for Wilder.
Oh,
AA Blunt,
yeah.
AA Blunt said 8th round stoppage for Fury.
This kid getting jerky with me.
Precise Presenter said Fury will school Wilder.
True
That
enough.
kind of happened, but
Yeah.
the knockdowns.
Not
Back
officially,
corruption. Corruption in boxing said Wilder on points, but he said possibly a controversial decision. Abstract said Wilder by stoppage. Apology said a draw. That's right. Apology got it correct. Boxing Style said Fury by decision. Wilder, and then who else is here? Oh, BDA said Wilder's decision controversial.
Almost.
Boxing Junkie said Wilder 8th round stoppage.
Butcher, you cut off there at the end, the last prediction.
Majority decision.
Hold on, Butcher. You after Boxing Junkie, you got cut off.
Oh, Battle Rifle said Wilder 9th round stoppage, and Recognize the Matrix said Wilder by decision, majority decision.
Well, we got Recognize, who hasn't spoken yet today. He's in here. Let me just introduce him real quick.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right. Recognize, we just had your best friend X here earlier. He called you a snake. And let me tell you something. Tyson Fury, he was flicking his tongue out like a snake. I think X was right. He is a white devil serpent. What do you think? Recognize? Ah, shit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're definitely right.
Well, I'm not right. X is right. All right.
Yeah, he is. I mean, listen, whatever. I don't care what little X has to say, but I thought Fury won the fight. I do agree that I don't know if he was letting Wilder off the hook or it was just he couldn't pull the trigger. I thought if he stepped it up a little bit, he could have at least dropped Wilder. I thought he won every round, with the exception of the 2 rounds he got knocked down. Maybe I gave him an earlier round. I forgot what it was. It was either the second or the third. I forgot. It was a controversial decision, obviously, that I thought that was going to happen either way, in Wilder's favor, and in this case, it was in his favor to keep the belt because there was no way they could see him. You know, there was no way they were going to give him the fight, although one. Wilder.
Yeah, you're cutting off the Recognize.
Ask the question. Do I think AJ would have done better against Wilder? Yeah, I think so. I think he would have did better because I think the only thing that was missing from Fury was that maybe he's not in total fight shape, and he still outboxed him the way he did. He's maybe he needed this fight to be in rhythm for the next fight, to be in total fight rhythm for the next fight, and maybe he does even better. Which, if he does, obviously he should win. He should win the fight, regardless of what the refs.
Oh, you're cutting off the Recognize. I don't know what's with people cutting off today.
Stop him. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
All right. Well, listen, I'm looking at.
Do you think? I was ask you, BDA. Do you think his stock's going to rise or fall in America after that?
Fury's is definitely going to rise just based on the mimetic warfare that we've got here.
Do I think? Are you asking me, Stu?
I was asking BDA and Recognize, all of you actually. Do you think his stock's going to rise or fall?
No, he was asking me, not you, Recognize. Recognize the Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry is going to start over again, man. It's going to start again. Mexico versus Puerto Rico, man.
Not much about this fight, so.
All right, listen, just real quick. Tyson Fury, his stock is going to go up, I think, because based on the fact that the memes that have started, the fact that he got up from those knockdowns, I think it's going to go up. And I think maybe Joshua, he's apprehensive about coming to the United States after the corrupt decision that we just saw. But maybe at the same time, he wants a little bit of what Fury got here in America, which is, some of that California lifestyle. So maybe he comes up. I don't know. Recognize, what do you think?
Yeah. I think he has a better shot of being a bigger star in America. I'll be honest with you. I think Wilder. Wilder he had the perfect look. He's an exciting fighter. Wilder is exciting, but American fans, I'm talking about besides YouTube media that loves him so much. But to capture the American fans, you got to have boxing skills. You got to have, you know, there's got to be a level of skill set that even a casual could understand. He's brash and he has a crazy attitude, but that's all he has.
Uh-huh.
Power's overrated, man. Power's overrated.
Whose power?
That right hand in the 12th round, people make too much of it, man. It didn't land cleanly. He put Fury over with the left hook. Fury lost his balance. He got hit at a weird place, lost his balance. He got up. Yeah, he was hurt, but he took a two-piece from Wilder the same way he took that one punch from Cunningham. And what? Can we honestly say that Deontay Wilder hits harder than Cunningham based on what we saw? I mean, we know he does, but like based on what we saw versus Tyson Fury, like if Cunningham's such a light puncher and he's putting him over, why didn't Deontay Wilder knock him out cold? Everybody said he would. As soon as he lands the right hand, he's putting him to sleep. That didn't happen. So I think the power is overrated, man. It's good. He might be the hardest hitter in the division, but the power ain't what people think it is.
All right, hold on a second. Sissy Maid just subscribed. Shout out to weird ass name there. But Precise, come on. I mean,
skinny man power.
You gotta give him credit for his. I mean, he might. Can we agree that at least that he's?
I did give him credit. I said he's probably the hardest hitter in the division. But what I'm saying is, people said as soon as he touches Fury, it's going to be all over. That didn't happen. So the power is obviously overrated. It's not what people said it was. So it is overrated, even though it's probably the hardest. He's the hardest hitting guy in the division. But that doesn't mean that as soon as he touches a 250-pound man, he's going to put him to sleep. Obviously, that's not true.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I give him credit. I just don't want to,
No, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's like he's not gonna put you to sleep with one shot. If
it's overhyped the power. It is
a little bit.
If you just like did it from a just calling it down the middle standpoint, I would say he has very good power for a guy his size and being like a slimmer the slimmer of the heavyweight division. He has that tall slim man underrated power. But if you're gonna say he's gonna touch you and fucking and you're just gonna go to sleep, that's obviously not true. There's no evidence that shows you as soon as he touches you, you're going to sleep. I mean, who did he do that to? Who did he put to sleep with one punch? Nobody.
Well, nobody in Tyson Fury's class, right?
Well, correct, and I mean like when he fought Spilka, they love to bring up Spilka. Well, he hit Spilka in the fight, and it wasn't to Spilka in the later rounds. He ran into something, finally got him out of there.
Yeah.
All right, so this crazy fantasy that once he lays hands on you, he's going to get you out of there. And I would even go as far as saying I don't even know if he has the most power in the heavyweight division. I can't.
He may not. You kind of got to give it to him by default, but
I'm telling you now, right? The minute he fights someone that's going to back him up and put pressure on him, he's going to crumble. He fights the same sort of guys, on the back foot, slow and at range. I know Fury was a different level to what I'm talking about, but usually he fights them sort of guys, slow, flat-footed, just fight at range with a jab, easy to time. Fury obviously is a very skilled technician and he avoided it all night, but I kept saying, you're not going to avoid this guy for 36 minutes fighting at range. You're just not going to do it, because that guy will land one of them eventually, because he's swinging the fucking thing constantly. It's like anyone, you can fight anyone in the street, don't matter how good you are at boxing. If he's throwing fucking 100 of these windmills, one might land. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
if he's swinging like fast,
because
and wild,
and you got to remember, because they come from funny angles, bro. They come from unorthodox angles, and that's why he lands them. Because look at the way he throws that, the way he telegraphs that right hand, and he sort of like brings it around. It's so easy to time.
Well, Fury,
but then again, he'll come from another angle another time, and you don't see it coming. He's just very awkward and.
And by the way, especially when you can,
we're right. Sorry, we're right. 25% were wrong, and I think that 25%. I knew as soon as that second knockdown, even when he got up, I knew they were going to rob him on the cards. Because if Fury had stayed on his feet, even with the corrupt judges, he would have won the fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, and also the thing about the power is, you got to consider that Wilder also was about 30 plus pounds lighter, so that hand speed does make a difference. And by the way, before we continue, because we do have Boxing Style and Apology Man on the line, so let's get them introduced here.
I'm gonna blow this internet up right about now. Bro, what's up? What's up with all that shit talking, bro? I'm being real. I'm being real. Because I picked honest.
All right,
That
and we
shit is
got
dope.
and we got Apology on the line as well.
Yo, that shit is
Bitch
dope.
of the devil, and they shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight with her. That's what women do.
Your punishment must be masturbate.
all of you.
Bitches are stupid, I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to a bitch.
All right, Boxing Style. Let's get to you, man. Thanks for being on the show. You were at the fight, Los Angeles. How was the experience, and how come you didn't do the special BDA sign? I asked you to pull your pants down and take a dump on your seat so that we knew that who you were, and we saw you didn't do it. What the fuck was up with that, man?
Hey man, I was too far away from the to the ring. You know what I mean? That's like the mid areas.
All
But
right.
man, I had one hell of a night. I still haven't really slept. I had like 3 hours of sleep or something. There was a fight behind me. One guy got jumped by two guys right behind me. I turned around and they're like fucking his ass up. I'm like, and then somebody was snitching. I'm like, hey, don't snitch.
Were you yelling Wall Star?
I mean, they had a dispute. Let him deal with that shit. But apparently he got hit in the process when they were swinging. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, he got hit in the prostate?
Yeah,
He got hit in the prostate?
he got hit or something like that. I don't know what happened.
How the fuck do you get hit in the prostate?
That was 3 white boys actually.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah, one
That
was
is
from
disgusting.
England or something. I don't know. I made a bunch of friends from the UK. I don't even know. I just made some friends, just drinking and shit, having a fun time. Watched a little bit of the fights, the Hurt fight, which was ridiculous. He gave him a low blow, man. I was like, fuck that shit. That was horrible. What the fuck did you do? Like, there's no point in doing that shit. You could have beat him in the later rounds. The guy had 6 losses on his record.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird, man. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
It looked horrible. He looked horrible because I think he was trying to do the defensive work, trying to show off his defensive work, and that's not his style. His style is coming forward and letting his hands go. As soon as he let his hands go, it was over. Do you know what I mean? But I just want to quickly get on to.
I was gonna say about the fight. Let me talk about the fight. What I saw.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
Apparently,
Something you said. I wanted to address something you said. That's
Well, we want to get Apology's take too after Boxing Style. So
what I saw in the fight was I was surprised.
what the fuck's up with the cutting off, man? Yeah, Boxing Style, you're cutting off, man.
Good fight. Oh my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was surprised by Wilder. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Wilder. I haven't changed my mind about. I never. There was a point in time that I hated AJ, but Wilder, never a situation. But his power is not overrated. It's the real deal. Tyson Fury has a chin on him, man. A chin. I told you guys he has a chin. He's just a fucking. His willpower is like crazy. He came up like the Undertaker, bro. Like when we saw that shit live. I mean, I was yelling and screaming, and I grabbed this dude next to me. I'm like shaking his ass and shit. Like, did you see that and shit? It was fucking crazy. Like, I'm like, excitement, bro. Like fucking drinking and stuff at the same time. There's a guy next to me. There's a guy on my right. There's a guy on my left. We're fucking screaming, yelling, and everything. The guy on my right was a Fury, a Wilder fan. The guy on my left was a Fury fan. I was like, I don't give a shit. I want to see a knockout. I'm obviously rooting for Fury, but I don't want to be like that guy that like, oh,
yeah, but you said it was a draw. You said it was a draw yesterday.
No, I didn't say draw. I said Fury nicked it, but at the same time, when I rewatched it, because I was drinking and shit, didn't pay attention completely.
All right.
And
Wilder never landed on Fury's
true,
chin. Just figure that, point that out, bro. You're saying Fury has a great chin, but Wilder never found the chin. So I don't know.
No, he did find the chin, bro. He clipped him. I saw the replay.
No, he didn't knock him down to the chin. He knocked him down with shots to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
No, for the second. No, look, the other one.
No.
The
It
first
was
one,
high on the face. It was high on the. It wasn't on the chin. It was high on the face. It couldn't have been on the chin. Look, the punch came from up top, and Fury was bending down, so there's no way he could have landed that on the chin. The angle
Yeah, but
just wasn't
he
there.
was going out already, bro. If you've seen him, Fury was laid the fuck.
All right, boxing style. You're gonna have to. You're gonna.
No, he closed his. No,
He was
wasn't asleep.
disappointed. He was
Boxing style. Hold on. Boxing style. Yeah, hold on. Guys. Hold on. Apology, man. You're gonna have jump out and jump back in because your connection, you're cutting off at the end of everything. So while you do that, let's get apologies, reactions of this fight. Apology there.
Yeah, hello. Can you not hear me?
All right. Yeah, we can hear you. Good to have you on board here. All right. I don't want to be jumping around too much from subject to subject, so let's stick to the subject here, and then you can add your thoughts on this. But boxing style and apology and precise, they're talking about getting hit to the chin. I certainly didn't see Fury getting hit to the chin either in the knockdowns or throughout the fight. What did you think? Can you agree that there weren't any chin shots on Fury?
Yeah, I would say that.
All right. Now, as to the fight. Were you surprised with the decision?
No, because the whole thing was choreographed, in my opinion. But I'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, Wilder could not find Fury's chin. He finally had someone with good defense and good boxing skills, so he struggled. Yeah, and the whole fight itself, I was watching it. The whole fight was choreographed. It was like a performance act. Like, I believe Frank Warren and Al Heyman came together and told Fury and Wilder, this fight's going to be a draw.
Oh, come on,
go out there.
Man, you're pushing it, bro. That was a real fight. It was
wait, guys, let him give his take.
Okay, we'll finish.
Yeah, let him finish. Let him finish.
Fanboys. Shut up, fanboys.
What are we waiting for? Come on, let's go!
All right, go ahead. Apology, go ahead.
They would go out there and make a performance. And even the second knockdowns, that was fixed as well, because if you think about it, if that was any other fighter, that would be a PBC stoppage. They wouldn't have gave Fury a count. So they knew Jack Reese, if he gives Fury a count, he could probably get up. And then he gave him way too long. Asked him, are you okay? Are you okay? Walk over here. He walked him over to the corner and then asked him to walk forward and then started the fight.
Yeah, but that's what they do nowadays. That's what they always do nowadays.
That was standard procedure, though. That was standard procedure.
I was gonna say something.
They usually don't give. Apology's point is, hold on. Can I say one thing? Apology's point was they usually don't do that on PBC.
Yeah.
Go look at Gerald Washington, the stoppage with Wilder.
And look
but this is a big fight. Like this, you can't pull that kind of shit in a big fight. I mean, Wilder's getting 4 million, Fury's getting 3. There's no clear A side here. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
especially when one guy's dominating, when one guy's dominating the fight as well, you can't just do that to him. You've got to give him a chance. He's a lineal champion. Give him a chance to stand up on his feet for 10 seconds. That's what they did to Lennox Lewis when he fought Oliver McCall. Didn't even give the champion a chance to fucking recover.
And they were risking a riot. They were risking a fucking riot in there.
Oh, man. Let them rip that place up. I'm telling you now they would.
Can I say something? If Wilder surprised me, I'll tell you why, man. Tyson Fury dodged some crazy shots, man. You rewatch that shit, he dodged some fucking crazy shots. Like, I was amazed. Like, I knew that he could do that, but I was still amazed when you watch it. Like, it's like that close and shit. I wasn't really that close, but like I would see it, the ring, and I would see the screen on top. The shots were fucking dead. He was dodging. It was ridiculous. I don't think AJ could stand toe to toe with Wilder. I think AJ's too stiff for that shit. I think AJ gets clipped and he gets out, man. And the thing is,
can he take? He was rocking into his boots.
Fury hits hard, and he was on his toes still, man. The motherfucker was still on his toes. I downgrade. I didn't know how good his chin was. He proved to me that his chin is great. Wilder's chin is great. Because I thought that, even though I said decision, I thought he was going to finish him. I thought Fury was going to finish him somewhere in the later rounds. But it just didn't happen. It's just the guy stood. He has heart. He has hell of a heart. He kept.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have happened. It would not have happened.
Well, first of all,
But
hold on a
they-
second.
they
Hold on a
told him-
second.
they
No,
told
no,
him-
man.
Hold on a
listen,
second.
bro.
Hold on a second.
No,
Guys,
no,
guys,
you can't
guys,
say
guys.
that shit, dog.
Hold on
That
a
was
second.
real fight.
Hey, guys, hold
That
on a
was
second.
real fight.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. First of all, that's a good point there, Boxing Style. That Wilder does have a good chin. I mean, we all talked about him being stopped and everything. I think that's more to do with the way his chin is positioned. The way he sticks it out there and his shitty defense. But now that he actually has a pretty good chin, it's not like an Amir Khan chin where you just touch him once and he's gonna fucking wobble. Number two. With Boxing Style, what he said about being surrounded, he had one guy in front of him, one guy in the back. They were both screaming. I'm going to do something with that soundbite, and I'm going to do something dirty with it. Also, we have Apology Man's new...
Hell no.
Yeah, sorry.
Hell
You
no.
you walked into it. Sorry, man. And we do have Apology's new intro. This is going to be his new intro.
Fuck's sake.
All right, that's the X-Files theme for
You know
anybody.
what I
who
said?
fucking-
You know what I said? Give me a sec, precise. I'll say this and you talk whatever you want. You know what I said right before they were gonna call the decision? I'm like, watch this. It's either gonna be Wilder winning or it's gonna be a draw. Wilder winning or it's gonna be a draw. And it turned out to be a draw, bro. It's fucking ridiculous. It's
I'll tell you
fucking
what, if it is a conspiracy, then Tyson Fury got the fucking rum end of the deal, didn't he? Having to take that shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man.
About it is afterwards, I went to a casino. I went to a casino with a few of my buddies, and we played a few like small bets and shit. We fucked around, and there was another fight over there. I ended up
I don't
seeing
want to hear
another
that gay
fight, bro.
story.
No,
I'm
I'm
not-
not. No, it's not. It's nothing gay about it, man.
Let's
There's
switch.
two Armenians
Damn.
jumped this black dude, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I've seen fights everywhere today. It's fucking ridiculous. It was
I
priceless.
don't see this great chin on Wilder. I have to
Me
disagree.
either.
Sorry.
I-
Let me tell you something. Vitaly Klitschko had a good chin. Deontay Wilder was hurt in the first round against Tyson Fury. He was holding at the very end of that round, and there were other moments in the fight where he was getting hurt. I think he's in good condition, and I think he recovers well, and I think he has good heart, and he has a good to average chin. If you want to talk about like a really good chin, that's Vitaly Klitschko. You want to talk about a shitty chin, that's Vlad. Wilder's somewhere in between. It ain't that great. It ain't.
Yeah,
that
well,
great.
I'm not
He
telling
could
you.
knock
I'm not
out-
saying he has the best chin in the world, bro. I'm not saying he's but he has.
I didn't say that. I just think his chin is being overrated, and I don't think Tyson Fury has the greatest chin either.
But be honest, but be honest, did he do better than Vladimir Klitschko against Fury? He did better than him, man. Like he at least knocked him out.
But he fought a worse version of.
He landed 2 more punches than Vlad. That's for sure.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because listen, at least Vladimir didn't eat as many jabs as Wilder was. I mean, Wilder was getting snapped. Like I said, that right eye or left eye rather, I think it was the left eye, was swelling bad. I mean, he was. Listen, if this would have been a sparring session, even with the knockdowns, Wilder would have gone back home thinking, shit, I want another shot at him because he got the best of him in the session. And that's what happened. Fury got the best of him, man.
And he will get another shot.
And let's be real, we've got to keep it real here. 60% Tyson Fury. That's not 100% Tyson Fury. A man that's not been in the ring 3 years.
No, he wasn't.
His timing was out. And that's what cost him the knockdowns, I think. I just don't think he was very strong on his legs. When he was kept crouching down, you know, you got to be quite fit. It takes a lot out of you when you're crouching down like that all the time, and you got to be decent balance. And when you're top heavy like Tyson Fury, weighing 250 pounds at the time, then that's if he'd kept away from crouching down, he would have got caught.
Somebody
The
said
first knockdown was a rabbit punch. That wasn't even a knockdown. Like it shouldn't have counted. But
definitely.
I don't really see this whole thing of the referee being in like Tyson Fury's favor. I did not see that at all. The fight was obviously fixed, but I don't think Fury was in on it. I wanted to address something you said. Apology with the long counter, like he gave him time to recover. this is standard operating procedure. Now, it might not happen on these PBC cards because that's just bullshit. That's not even boxing anymore. But you're supposed to ask the fighter if he's all right. You're supposed to make eye contact. You're supposed to wipe his gloves off. And the reason why he told him to walk over there and come back was that if Tyson Fury stumbled or fell into the ropes, he was just going to wave it off. That's why he sent him back there. And the reason why I say he wasn't in on it is because he wasn't even looking at Wilder or sending him to the neutral corner. Wilder's like damn near in the center of the ring, just waiting to pounce on him. And Jack Reese is not telling him he could. He as soon as Deontay Wilder, or as long as Deontay Wilder is not in the neutral corner, he doesn't have to do anything with Tyson Fury. That's the first thing he has to do, is tell that fucker to go in a neutral corner, and then he needs to go through the procedure with the injured fighter. And he didn't do any of that. So I don't think he was protecting Fury at all. I think he was trying to get Fury out of there, but he wanted to make it look legit.
Hey, look,
hold on. We gotta let Apology reply if he does indeed have a reply. Apology, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah. Two questions to Precise. First of all, what do you think of all the holding Fury did? He did the hold a bit too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was some holding from Fury, but Wilder was holding just the same. Like, maybe not as much, but Wilder was holding as well. And he wasn't warning anybody for holding. He should have been warning them. But, it's, what can I say about that? You know what I mean?
Well,
he should have warned them both.
Hey, man. Hey, look at this. The holding was done from Fury's side just to control the fight. That's all it was. Mostly controlling the fight.
And Deontay Wilder was holding when Fury was hurting him. Watch
pretty much,
the ending of the first round.
But there was not a lot of holding. We're not talking about like.
But look, something people need to understand is if you got this wild guy, and as soon as he runs into you and tackles you with his body, you can grab him because he's not supposed to be pushing you. He's not supposed to be using his shoulder to push you around. He's not supposed to be hitting you, touching you with anything but his fists. Those are the rules. So as soon as he breaks the rules, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Grab a hold of him, of course.
There's more holding. There was more.
It's like an erratic. It's so erratic that you have to grab hold of him because you just don't know what he's going to do. So
he was throwing elbows. I mean, Fury was using his elbow. Not Fury. Wilder was using his elbows, pushing around, like hitting with the wrists. I mean, come on, man. You got to grab a hold of that wild man. The fuck? That's not boxing.
There was more holding in the Fury versus Klitschko fight than there was in this one. A lot more holding.
It wasn't that much holding, really. Fury held. It was tactical. Of course, it was tactical. It was part of his game plan. But I didn't think it was atrocious. It was justifiable.
Exactly.
I mean, what about this? The count as well. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments on the internet about a 20-second count. I don't know what fucking watch they've got on.
I thought so too. It's been
timed. Most people have timed. I mean, it's not rocket science to get stopwatch and time it, and it's been timed by the media and all sorts of people. And he got up at 9 seconds. People say, well, the ref started counting that.
Bro, when I was
goes by, hang on a sec, Boxing Style. 2 seconds, bro, right, and then you can come in, right? People say about counting late, counting perfect at the same time, but even if he did start counting late, Tyson Fury's going by the ref's count. He ain't going to go, well, I think the ref might have started counting a bit late, so I better get up early. It don't work like that. You go by the ref. He's looking at you, counting, and that's when you get up. You got to put 9. There's no conspiracy. There's no robbery. The Tyson Fury got up, and he deserved to be given a second chance, and he proved it because he was the one coming on strong in the latter of that round. So,
listen.
Anyone that's talked about that 20 seconds is pure.
When he got dropped, I thought that was the case too for a moment there. I thought maybe the count was off because I wasn't really paying attention at that moment when he got dropped. But realistically, when I watched it, the referee already started the count when he fell. Like he started with the count 2 instead of counting 1. He's like 2, 3, 4. So he was already counting when he fell.
He was actually at 3, I think, when he got over Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
He was actually up 3 when he got over him.
Pretty much, that's what happened, and that's bullshit. Then.
All right, now
I've studied.
No, go ahead, Precise. Well, go ahead.
I've studied this in detail in many different fights. Generally, the count technically starts about a second too late because the timekeeper, it takes them a second to process what's happening. The count is supposed to start as soon as you hit the canvas, and as soon as both of your knees are off the canvas, and your obviously your gloves. That's when the count stops. If you look at the time clock, Fury goes down, I believe, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. With 2 minutes 22 seconds left in the round is when he hits the canvas at 2. It was 9 seconds exactly. I forget exactly what the numbers were, but if you look at the clock when he hits the canvas and when he gets up, it was precisely 9 seconds. And Jack Reese was on top of that. Usually they're about a second or two later, but Jack Reese was counting them seconds quickly. That's what I saw.
Man, when he went down, everybody thought that was it. That was it.
One of the better refereeing performances. One of the better refereeing performances I've seen for a long time.
People are saying that
we've seen terrible refereeing.
People I don't think Jack Reese was that good.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
People are saying that that's like the best.
He was a lot better. He was a lot better than the Stevenson fight.
Yeah, he was.
All right.
Yeah, if you lower our expectations, we lower our expectations. He's great.
Yeah.
All right. I want to just read real quick some of the comments from the chat because we haven't gotten.
I'm not saying he's great.
No. Well, listen. Let me get some comments here. All right, hold on. Let me get some comments from the people here in the chat. Shepherd Son says any version of Vladimir beats Wilder. Capo Antrax says Fury came to the US, rematch should go to the UK. Yeah, that would be fair. Why not, man? I mean, that's the way they usually do it. Shepherd Son says Vlad got wobbled by Pulev's jab. Mighty Claire says, will Wilder get another pay-per-view without Fury and AJ? Yeah, these guys, you can't put these guys against bombs on pay-per-view. It has to be against each other. Slapnuts says Fury can get better before the rematch. Wilder isn't going to get better. He already peaked. I kind of disagree with that. If we have a chance to talk about that, we'll get into it. Hawker Mustang says Nino Gadji, Wilder loves to be the gimp. Yeah, the fucking Wilder with the mask throughout the Wayne. I thought that was a psychological ploy to sort of hide himself from the big stage. I think the big stage got to him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, credit to him. He stepped it up. I mean, he got those two knockdowns. I still think he lost the fight, but I knew that the judges were going to give him every single benefit of the doubt. And when it's a low output fight like the one we had, plus the knockdowns, the judges are going to do everything in their power not to have him lose. And so that's what happened. So, but it was only two knockdowns. Anyway, We Degree says not being released, I don't think. Oh yeah, because they're asking about the pay-per-view numbers, if they've been released. I don't think they're going to release. They're certainly not going to release them the day after. And if the PBC, I don't think they're into the business of releasing them. So who knows how many pay-per-views that did. Tawi says, LDBC dude Sting Wilder won, LOL. And that's pretty much it. We'll get back to the comment section in a little while here.
To be fair, though, I'll just say, to be fair, I've been reading a lot of comments, and even a lot of the LDBC are saying that Fury won that fight. I mean, even Seven a bit of stick from his own followers. I think last night I heard, because even they had to say, "Look, come on, bro, you lost that fight." Mm-hmm. So when you see the people that say Fury won, legends of the sport, and people like Andre Ward and you know, even Malignaggi, say what you like about it. I know he's a bit of a fucking tool sometimes, Malignaggi, but you know. He's an American.
Sorry, bro. I don't give a fuck what any of these jokers have to say. They're trying to resurrect some kind of credibility, supposedly. It's an obvious decision to make. It's an obvious thing to state. Just because I get what you're saying, but just because these guys are saying it, I'm not going to just be like, oh, they got credibility. No, fuck Andre Ward, fuck Malignaggi. They had no choice but to say that.
I'm saying.
I just don't want to use them as a credible source. That's all I'm saying. They're not credible, you know. They had no choice. They had to say this, but they're not fucking credible. So I'm not saying we disagree. I just want to point out that
they come from they come from the place where the corruption happens. So I want to, you know, and if they're saying it, you know, it's quite a biased country. America's quite biased at the worst of times.
I heard
Paulie was saying that Ward beat Kovalev. Like Paulie was saying that, so fuck him. Like I don't take his opinion for anything.
All right, let's get.
I think that's the only one that he actually picked the wrong guy. But usually Paulie is on point with his shit.
Well, let me get recognized in there.
When he
Let me
wants
get
to,
recognized. Hold on, guys. Let's get recognized. Hold on, guys. Let's get recognized. He wanted to say something. Go ahead, recognize.
No, to what Precise was saying, yeah, I do agree. These guys, like a lot of them, and Stewart is right too. I'm not saying Stu is right. Some of these guys did say, look, he lost, but again, let's say Paulie Malignaggi, he can call it down the middle when he feels like it. Okay, I think there's a little something going on there. There's look. Floyd Mayweather, for whatever reason, this is where I happen to agree with him. For whatever reason, he's not buddy with Deontay Wilder. Okay, it could be for whatever reason it is, but he's not. He's like, look, he lost that fight. You know, he's like, that's it.
Yeah.
But I've seen Floyd say that he thought Timothy Bradley and the third fight and
yeah, but you know what that was all about.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I was trolling money. That was.
I'm trying to get to that point. Is that when he wants to call it like it's supposed to be called, he does that, right? Same thing with Paulie. Paulie does the same thing. Paulie, you know, he'll when he wants to call it down the middle, he'll call it down the middle. Floyd Mayweather's the same way. When they don't feel like they have anything, any interest in this fight, they don't have a horse in the race. To them, you know, they're going to call it down the middle, and you heard guys like Malignaggi and Floyd say, "Look, Wilder lost." I mean,
should J Rock give Tyson Fury 10 rounds?
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it, bro. Like you can only pull the wool. This is my point. You could pull the wool over fans' eyes so much, but when it gets to like 10-2, 8-4, you gotta tell the truth, or you're gonna completely discredit yourself, and you won't be able to lie about fights that were clear but closer. You know what I mean? So the Overton window is still way off with these guys. They're not truth tellers. They only use these obvious opportunities to act like they're credible, but they're not. They're all full of shit. Fuck them.
You could be right, because their opinion suits my agenda right now. I'm going to use them, all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually,
but
Lou DiBella,
I just want you to rein it in a little bit, just a little bit.
I think Shepard is.
I've got to use it. I've got to use when I'm talking about people calling a fight. I've got to come out some names. I'm not going to just say, oh, by the way, fucking. You say fighters to say it, then people sort of like take it in a little bit more. But even Lou DiBella went up to Tyson. I know it's not been out on the internet yet, but it was seen by a couple of people that Lou DiBella went up to Tyson Fury and said, "Oh, good fight, you won that fight," before the scores were read out. So that's Lou DiBella saying that. So I think he went up to Fury's.
Everybody knows.
I don't want to.
Everybody knows he won that fight. Everybody knows Tyson Fury won the fight, and anybody who says he didn't, you just gotta ignore those people, man, because they're never gonna tell it like it is.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I told you guys, right? Tyson Fury, the great deceiver. The motherfucker just tricked everybody. He's gonna get knocked out. He's nothing. He went 12 rounds with Pianetta. What is he gonna do? Oh, 10 rounds. Was it 10 rounds? I think it was 10.
But that's what
I mean.
That's what I never
wasn't
understood.
far from getting knocked out.
I know.
Calling the Wilder knockout was not a bad pick. You know what I mean? It's boxing. It wasn't a bad pick.
No. I'm
Wilder
talking about
by decision.
Dude, they were saying that he's gonna KO him like in 3 rounds, 4
No,
rounds.
I know. Yeah.
Shit like that, bro. It was ridiculous shit. Like he's shot out. He ain't nothing. He's garbage. He's a has-been. I'm like, dude, he's playing with his opposition like a cat plays with his food.
You know what?
Boxing stars, those opinions come from like LBBC. What do you expect? The low IQ.
It wasn't just me, man. It wasn't just them. It wasn't just them. It was just a bunch of guys on this panelist. I don't know who was exactly. I think Jimmy was one of those guys. They thought he's just not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to do that shit. Jimmy was one of them. Whatever. It doesn't. I'm not going to call names, but
you already did.
We all get predictions wrong.
I know, but that wasn't so bad, wasn't it? I mean, come on.
Well, listen. I'll say this.
Let's give a hand to Boxing Style. He finally got one right. Come on.
Well, hold on a second.
On this one.
What's going on here? You guys are getting a little bit out of hand, right? Recognize a little bit. little bit. They're getting a little out of hand.
Boxing style gets mismatches wrong, doesn't it?
I mean, it happened a few times, man. The only two that I got really bad was, I mean, Vanes. I didn't pick Vanes to win, but I said 12 rounds, and the other one was fucking what's his name, Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn.
Well, I want to say something. I want to say something about that people that were saying that were picking Wilder before the fight. Not people here in this panel necessarily, but people all over the internet. They were picking Wilder because that their argument was, well, Tyson Fury couldn't take out the two tune-ups he fought, so he's going to lose against Wilder. But I'm thinking, well, since when does Tyson Fury take out people? I mean, did people really expect him that the only way he was going to be able to win was by knockout? And that he's always been this boxer puncher that breaks down guys? Nah, his game is he pop that jab, he'll move around, make you miss, hold on to you, wear you down. That just, it made no sense, the predictions. Like, okay, if you pick Wilder by knockout, of course, that was the best shot he had, which was to win by knockout. But that just goes to show you what Roger Mayweather almost always says, which is that most people don't know shit about boxing. And when you got big fights like this, the people that don't know about boxing, they come out of the woodwork, and you gotta deal with them as best you can. Now, let me read a couple of comments from the chat room real quick, because people want us to do that here. Nino Gadget says Bradley Pacquiao, Kovalev Ward, Triple G Canelo, Fury Wilder. I can't blame you guys for not wanting to fight in the States. Not at all. Tui says Fury defense was awesome. Yeah, it was beautiful defense, man. Except for those two fucking mistakes he made, which of course you can't defend 100%, but those two mistakes cost him dearly. Nicola Ferrari says Povetkin, Fury, Wilder, others all waited Vlad out. Well, Povetkin fought him, and Vlad just spent the whole fight clinching. Anyway, Texas Liberty says Fury is my hero. Nino Gadget says Paulie, yes, Mr. Heyman, Malignaggi. And by the way, that's an interesting point here about Malignaggi. He doesn't like Pacquiao, and I think he doesn't like Broner either, because Broner beat him. If he calls the Pacquiao-Broner fight, is he going to be unbiased, or is he going to be biased towards both guys? How is that going to work?
Whatever Floyd tells him to say.
Oh.
No, he'll pick Pac's side. He'll be realistic. I mean, he hates both guys.
I don't know. I think he hates Pacquiao more than Broner, I think.
Yeah.
No, but he's been real, bro. Recently, every fucking decision he called out, he was real. I mean, with the Triple G Canelo, with a bunch of fucking fights that I saw, he's real. He's telling the truth. The only one I've noticed that he was biased as fuck was Andre Ward and Kovalev. I think he had something against Kovalev or something. He didn't. Yeah, that's the only one that I've noticed. But I'm pretty sure he probably has other ones that I haven't seen. But recently, all the ones I've seen, he's on point. He doesn't fuck around. Did you guys hear that Tyson Fury apparently took all of his whatever he got from this fight? He's gonna give it to the homeless people or something like that.
Well, hold on. Before we get onto that, the connection's fucking up. So let me wait until it resettles and we continue this, because I don't know if people are. I don't even know if people are listening to us right now. All right, I think we're not. It's fucking connection, man. Sunday evening connections. The Sunday evening connection tends to be awful. Let's just wait it out until it. I'll tell you guys when it redistributes or recomposes itself, rather. Ah, there we go. Okay, so real quick, before we get to that whole thing about Tyson Fury donating his purse, Lion Bar says boxing aficionados called the fight correctly in favor of Fury. Giuseppe LaRocca says Fury put on a boxing clinic. Mark Funk says he likes Broner. Ko Matsuda says, can you check out the boxing page, Boxing Habit? I want to hear what you think. Tui says, yeah, I know Wilder got the struggle. Nicola Ferrari says, yeah, fought him years after avoiding him. Already in 2013, Vlad was declining BDA. Well, right. Richie Rich says, Wilder has real power, but Fury has great head movement, but no body movement. Wilder said he was going to go to the body early, but he gave up. Wilder is too wide with his punches. All right, so what is this about? Did you say boxing style Tyson Fury is going to be donating it to the homeless? Is that what he said?
Yeah, I heard. I mean, a friend of mine told me about it. Then I looked at it. I forgot. I think it was an article or something. I don't remember what I.
No way, he's giving $3 million away to the homeless.
I don't believe it neither. But I mean, that fool's a lunatic, so anything's possible.
What was the purse?
Like 10% or was his purse or something.
The motherfucker's a lunatic. Anything is possible.
If anybody know, I don't know if anybody on the panel knows. What was the purse for this fight? What were the fighters getting?
3 and 4. 3 and 4.
3 and 4. So 3, I'm guessing Tyson, and then
Yeah.
4 for Wilder.
What was the pay-per-view buys?
They haven't said yet.
Guaranteed. Then you got a bonus from pay-per-views.
From
Yeah, they-
pay-per-view, yeah, you get bonuses from the whatever their deal was, and how many pay-per-views you have to sell.
Wait, didn't Wilder get an actual purse? He got an actual purse, right, to carry around with that feather outfit he had on last night. he looked like fucking Big Bird, man.
Yeah, I don't know how he. Look, I get it. He got skinny legs. I don't know how he weighs 212, bro. He's a big fucking dude. He's in great shape. That's the one thing I give him. He's like a fucking
bone.
6 foot. He's got to have heavy bones. He looks.
That's why he hits hard. I told you guys this. He's the hardest hitter of all time in boxing. I still
Garcia hits harder than that dude. Come on, man.
No. I stand by those words. I still say.
No, you lost your credibility.
What are you doing? What the hell are you doing?
I lost all respect for you.
You don't have any idea of the facts.
Yeah, he's just repeating what Tyson Fury said now.
Look.
Oh my God.
Vlad hit him too. Vlad is considered one of the most heaviest.
Yeah, but Vlad never really got to hit him flush.
No, bro, he hit him flush. There was, if you watch the fight, he has hit him. He got more pissed.
Tyson Fury was in excellent boxing shape back then. I don't even as good as the performance or good enough for at least for me to think that Fury clearly won that fight. He wasn't in excellent boxing shape. He wasn't.
Even David Hay says that, bro. David Hay has been with Klitschko. He said he's harder than Klitschko.
Can you imagine if Fury? Sorry, boxing stuff. Cut out. Go on.
It's all right. It's okay, man. I was just saying that David Hay.
But David Hay was on the back foot in that whole fight. So sometimes it's really hard to measure punching power.
But he said it's one thing to be in an actual fight and another thing to spar with the guy and say his sparring punches were harder than the actual fight itself with Klitschko.
But if you look at that sparring fight, David Hay was not on the back foot. He was right there. So yeah, you're gonna get some punches where you can say, "Wow, that." I'm just saying that.
It's the thing is with Wilder, his technique is poor. He has poor technique.
No kidding.
Power is still there. Power is still there.
Oh, I agree.
Stop, bro. Stop it, please. Stop already. You can't possibly say who's the hardest hitter in heavyweight boxing history, and it's definitely not Deontay Wilder.
Oh, is it Ernest
Foreman? Shavers? I don't even know. But there's no way he hits as hard as old man Foreman. There's just no way. Who the fuck?
I've seen.
Who did he knock out? Who did he knock out? A bunch of chinny ass bums? Fuck that.
Ortiz, man.
Who the fuck is Ortiz?
I know it's not. I'm just saying I'm saying it off the eye test. I'm saying it off of what I've heard and all that stuff. I'm saying it because of those things. I don't need to have seen.
But these are promoters. He's a promoter. Tyson Fury is a promoter. Who cares what the fuck they got to say?
Yeah, Apology, you wanted to say something about this. Wayne, man. Apology.
Yeah, it's like maybe he hits harder than one at times, but like besides that, they're trying to big up his power because that's all he has. He doesn't have any other attributes, just power.
He fucking shoots those punches from weird angles, and it catches you. And look, it drops you. But I haven't seen anybody just go to sleep besides Spilka, who's a fucking cruiserweight. So it's like this whole thing that he's this one hitter quitter. No, listen. The
evidence is in Fury's fight, bro. The evidence is right there. He made him
Fury should have
sleep.
been
Sleep.
No,
and
Fury's
chin. Fury's chin with Cunningham is not the same chin that he has now. He has a better chin.
He would have never gotten up.
Boxing style.
Never gotten up.
Boxing style. I wish you'd go to fucking sleep.
Oh man.
I think Joe Joyce might hit harder than he does. I'm not sure. I've never been hit by
Joyce slept that boy.
260, 210. You honestly telling me that a guy that's 50 pounds heavier doesn't hit as hard as Deontay Wilder? Honestly? So you telling me that a welterweight hits as hard as a cruiserweight? Come on, man.
Just because it's the weight don't mean shit, bro. It's speed. Power is massive speed.
Look up to do a pass with Povetkin and with Wilder. Wilder was hitting him clean, bro.
As much as
I'm
Wilder's.
convinced Tyson Fury's got. I'm convinced Fury's chin's dodgy. I'm convinced it is. The only reason he hasn't been knocked out is because he avoids most punches. I mean, how he got up the other night. I mean, after that, you got to say he's got a decent chin, but all round through his career, he's been rocked a few times. I mean, Cunningham had him on his ass. I've seen him get rocked a few times in his early days. And I don't think his chin is too great, to be honest with you. And when you look at Stevenson survived the fight as well. And Fury, not the greatest chins we're talking about here, because I think Stevenson's been knocked out in a round before. So these are the chins we're talking about, and they've hung around for 12 rounds. So he's got devastating power. I agree. But
yeah, you guys
when you start saying he's an all-time.
I'm not getting excited. I'm just saying you guys are gonna find out when he fights AJ, if that fight ever happens.
All right, let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Somebody in the chat room, Fight Scout, makes a good point that ends this whole conversation. He says Charlie Zelenoff took Wilder's shot clean. So boxing style, that argument goes out the window.
He didn't.
Man.
He actually slapped him. If you watch the shit again, he slapped the shit out of him. He slapped like 5 times.
Well, whose fault is that?
He dropped him by slapping him, bro.
Whose fault is that?
I'll tell you what, it seems boxing style's got a new hero. I bet Deontay gave him an autograph last night.
You was at the fight.
I wish I could get
You was at the fight, right?
Now
I was at the fight.
Fan.
I actually wanted Tyson Fury's autograph. I didn't care about. I mean, I'd still want Deontay Wilder's. I want to say I didn't care about it. I do like both guys, but the thing is, it's not because I'm a fan of him. I'm just being real. The motherfucker does it really fucking hard. I mean, he's poor technique.
No doubt. He has.
You're not being real, bro. It's just your opinion. It's just your opinion, man. Most of us disagree. Most of us disagree.
You have the right to disagree. That's my opinion. I mean, even Fury said it. I mean, that's another guy that said it. There's a lot of guys that said it.
Fury never fought Foreman. Let's move on, guys. Please.
I think Fury would have whooped the shit out of Foreman. And the best of Vlad.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
There's a guy on the chat that his name is Shepherd to the Sons, whatever his name is. Sons.
That's right.
That motherfucker thinks that best of Vlad beats best of Fury. Fuck no, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
I think he does.
I outbox the shit out of him, bro.
No, he doesn't. I think he does.
I think.
I mean, the best. You know what Vlad is? Vlad is a counter puncher, just like what's his name, Wilder, but more technique, more basics. That's what he is. And the thing
Vlad was a boxer puncher. He was not no counter puncher, man. Boxer puncher.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Punch. It wouldn't even change his goddamn thing. It wouldn't
Hold
change
on.
the goddamn thing.
All right, hold on. Recognize was going to say something before he dropped off. Recognize, you give us your take on prime Vladimir Klitschko versus prime Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I just think that Vladimir would have beat him. That's it. He just would have stopped him. He was able to get caught by a guy who doesn't even know how to set up punches, and you're talking about a guy who's a boxer puncher. You don't think he'll be able to set those up and eventually catch Fury with some good shots in his prime? I'm talking in the middle of his unbelievable, title defense run. I think he does. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say he definitely stops him, but he's good. He beats him. If all the money's on the line, everything's on the line, Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko, that to me, I have no problem easily saying, in my opinion, because that would never happen, right? In my opinion, Vlad would have beat him.
The thing is, you guys are discrediting Wilder, and I'll tell you why. He choreographs his punches a lot of times. It's obvious. But even though he's choreographing his shit, it's still fast as fuck. Like real time, when you watch it, it is fast.
I agree.
That's why there's a lot of power behind it. And he said that he could beat Mike Tyson at his prime. There's a possibility.
You don't have any idea of the facts.
It's not out of the world.
You don't have any idea.
Vlad, Mike Tyson.
All right. Boxing style, you gotta stop screaming, man. Yeah, you gotta calm down, man. Boxing style, you gotta calm down. You're still excited from last night. Take a chill pill,
I'm
man.
excited, but I'm just as from eye test. I'm telling you, like maybe from the distance game that he will play, and Mike Tyson's a short dude.
He couldn't touch Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's defense was too good in the prime. He wouldn't be able to touch him.
Yeah, but
He missed like 95% of his fucking shots. I don't give a shit what CompuBox has to say.
But he needs
I was sitting there counting. He had rounds where he threw 35 shots and landed one.
I mean, how are you gonna land on Mike Tyson, moving his head up and down, in and out, and then throwing these bombs at you? He couldn't even touch Mike Tyson.
Bro,
Mike Tyson was right past that fucking jab and chops us down.
Bro,
Can I just get in on that? Can I just get in on the comment with Vlad and Fury fighting again before I was rudely interrupted by Boxing Style?
Oh.
I think the first fight, I think Vlad's problem was I think he was stuck in second gear fighting guys he was much better than, started going through the motions. And I think he just got stuck. When you get stuck where you're not fighting decent competition, it sort of like drags you down to that level a bit. And I think that's took his eye off the ball. And when he came in with Fury, a guy that's fucking awkward, he'd never seen anything like it. He froze on the night because he didn't know what to do. Because his basic stuff that he was doing for so long that was working and getting him by wasn't working anymore. And there was no plan B. At least when he fought Joshua, he got knocked down. I thought, fuck it, the plan's not working. I'm just going to let my hands go. And then that's when he started doing well and landing and hurting Joshua. I think if they fought a Vlad that knew what he was coming into with Fury, knew a game plan. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't know nothing much about Fury, really. Fury was erratic. He fought different styles. One minute he'd fight on the front foot, then he'd fight on the back foot. He didn't even know what he was going to do. So it's hard to plan for Fury, and Vlad didn't. He planned terribly for Fury, and it cost him. I think if he had another chance in his prime, I think he would beat Tyson Fury.
Listen,
That's right.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. Vlad, right? Vlad. You know the biggest reason why he didn't want to come back besides the AJ loss? Because he was afraid that Tyson Fury is going to come back. I guarantee motherfucking to you.
Tyson Fury ducked his ass. Come on, man. Tyson Fury ducked it. No. This is not an opinion, bro. All right, calm down. They had a rematch clause, and Vlad was in training camp, and Tyson Fury, because of his depression or whatever the fuck, bitched out. All right, that's what happened. So let's just keep it real. I mean, I know you're a fan. I like Tyson Fury too. I get it, but come on, bro. Calm down a little bit, please.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you my take. I'll give you my take on this. And you guys know I'm not a Vladimir Klitschko fan. I hated his style. But based on what he was able to do against a guy his size, or at least his height, at 39 years old against Anthony Joshua, you put a 35-year-old Vladimir Klitschko in there against Tyson Fury. I don't know if Tyson Fury is able to. Now, again, I still think Tyson Fury's feints would have terrified Vladimir Klitschko, because whether it's a 31-year-old Klitschko or a 45-year-old Klitschko, he's still always afraid of getting hit. But certainly the chances would be on Vladimir's side if he would have been younger. That's my take on it. But,
a good fight would have been Vitaly.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. That would have been a toss-up for me, a 50-50. To me, I would have.
He would murder Tyson Fury. Vitaly would murder Tyson.
Okay, but we're saying it now, bro. We're saying it now. I'm saying 50-50. I say 50-50 for that one.
He would walk through everything Tyson Fury had. Bro, he was taking Lennox Lewis's. I know it was an old Lennox Lewis, but the power's the last to go, and he was taking them fucking shots from Lennox Lewis. Come on, man.
He was terrified of getting hit by Chisora, though.
He boxed his ass.
I know, but
he wasn't terrified.
He was afraid.
He had one
bro,
arm.
how was he?
Bro, he was 42.
How was he terrified?
I know. He's 42 though.
He had one
He
arm.
stood in front of Chisora with his hands down. How was he terrified? He boxed with his hands down. And he rolled all of his punches and then countered his ass all night. And
he was.
I thought it was one of Vitaly's poorer performances, though, but still far too good for Chisora.
Yeah,
Like
his poorest performance was still too much for a young Chisora, right?
He beat his ass up. He didn't lose a round in that fight. He didn't lose one round.
And he was what, 42? When he was that his last fight? I believe that was his last fight.
He was on his fucking toes like a featherweight. You guys need to watch that fight again.
Well, I'll tell you what, though.
Never had a
credit competitive. Let's just say that. I thought he did.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he hung around. And that was like
Go
I
on,
said,
BDA.
that's an old Vitaly. Still was too much for him. Yeah,
man. And that's the thing. Vitaly, though. The Vitaly that fought Lennox Lewis. Lewis was a fatso who wasn't even training properly for Kevin Johnson, or I forget what the guy's name is, a Canadian guy. I still think Lennox Lewis in his prime would have beaten Vitaly Klitschko, but Vitaly Klitschko had that He was like the original version of Tyson Fury. Well, not exactly, but he had a similar style and he had a bit heavier hands. So that's what made him so fucking hard to fight. One of the most difficult heavyweights out there to have against anybody.
I agree with you, BDA. That's why I said it's a 50-50 fight with him and Fury. Prime Fury versus Prime Vitaly.
And hey, what about fucking Corey Sanders, the fight South African who sadly passed away a couple of years ago? That guy was dangerous too, man. And he almost dropped Vitaly. And he did up and then, of course, knocking out Vladimir. So, I mean, lots of good heavyweights out there. I see we got official boxing scorecard on the line. Official, are you there?
Yeah, man. Hello, guys.
Hey, good to have you on board, man. You're back from the French Pyrenees, I think, and the Swingers Convention. Is that what? Or did I get that wrong? You tell me.
Yes, but I was instructed not to share the information concerning
That's right.
our meeting.
All right. Well, what you were there at the emergency broadcast last night. You gave us your thoughts, but you got anything else to add about the fight or about the ongoing discussion that we're having here about Prime Vladimir versus Prime Fury and Wilder and all that?
About the fight, well, I rewatched it quickly, but in fact, I'm preparing a real punch count video, so I was watching it a bit and still had it the same way, either 10-2 for Fury or 9 rounds to 3. Well, concerning Klitschko brothers, honestly, I don't think that the fight would be much different against the younger version of Vladimir, but against Vitaly, yeah, it would be a crazy fight. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to predict with these fucking fantasy fights. It's really just for fun, you know, to come up with these subjects. By the way, I'm reading the fucking comment section here, and Cachinello says that there's a rumor going around that Triple G might join the PBC. You gotta wonder the reason why. Well, I can sort of understand why he would do that, because if he joins the zone, he gets Canelo, but then maybe he thinks maybe been there, done that. I can't beat the guy via decision. I might as well go to the PBC and fight guys like the Charlos or Jared Hurd or something like that. But we'll see. We'll keep our eye on it. See what happens.
Because Triple G is partially Puerto Rican.
Oh, yeah. Recognize. That's a dig at you, man.
We'll take him. We'll take
him. Oh man, yeah. The other day, Recognize was saying that Tekashi 69,
Puerto Rican style. We can listen. Yeah, we could work with that. You know, he kind of looks Puerto Rican when I look at him. In a certain angle,
I just like fight Puerto Rican style. Yeah.
Puerto Ricans try to claim anybody. I remember when Roy Jones was in his prime. They're like, he's Puerto Rican, right? Like, not Puerto Rican.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, well, I'm saying he's light skinned. That doesn't mean he's Puerto Rican.
That is disgusting.
He's from the tribe of Israel, isn't he? So he's Puerto Rican.
Oh, man, I'll tell you something, man.
After a while, I had to accept. Yes. I have to tell my aunts. Yeah. He's Puerto Rican. Fine.
But by the way, apology. I think he dropped out. But apologies to the guy that got it right.
Take it off topic. I didn't really want to take it off topic too much, but I'm hearing Adonis Stevenson is that coma he's in. I think he's stable at the moment. He's gone from critical to stable. So
bad news.
Yeah,
that's bad news.
That's
yeah. Is it just, you know? Yeah, I mean, like I said, as much as I hate the guy, I despise Adonis Stevenson.
He doesn't want a body on his record, though. So.
I said he was like quarter to empty, right? That he was done. Like that was it.
Yeah. But I think we have to be.
Look, what happened to?
I think we have to have a bit, as men, we have to have a bit of class about us.
Absolutely.
Anyone that gets in the boxing ring, I don't want to see him die in a boxing ring. If someone killed him on the street, it wouldn't bother me.
Come on, man. Come on.
Do you know what he did?
Yeah, but at what point?
Yeah,
Listen,
but if
that's
someone
what
killed him on the street. That's what I'm saying. If someone killed him on the street, I wouldn't bat an eyelid.
If he did the things he did, if he did the things he did to any of your family members, you'd be taking a different tune, man. So if we're gonna care about people, let's care about the victims, not that fucking scumbag. Fuck him. Hope he dies. Hope he dies.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Wait. Precise. God forgives. You should too.
Well, I mean, it's
And again, Precise is not God, so.
I mean, listen, this whole thing about, I understand Precise's point. I have to be neutral, or you really do have to try to be as unbiased as possible with this. You have to look at both sides. I mean, on the one side, I understand Precise's point about if indeed he did what he did, and I talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the show. If indeed he was pimping girls out, I mean, you can look it up on Google about what he was doing, torturing underage girls and all that. I mean, that shit. It's a good question. I mean, if he did that to your family members, would you forgive him? And I am a person. Well, there you go. Well, that's Precise's point.
Then family members are probably they're hoping they turn the machine off him tonight. So they're thinking like that. But I just for the sake of boxing, I don't want to see a guy die in a boxing. I'm not that. I want to see a man get killed in the boxing ring because I'm emotionally invested against him. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see that. I
actually.
Well, hold on. Recognize wanted to say something. Go ahead, Recognize. Hold on.
Listen, to be fair, right? Had he done something like that, I have a daughter, right? And I have nieces and I have sisters, the whole nine. So had he done something like that to somebody that I really care about, I would not care if he changed his life. I would want to hurt him. The way he hurt.
Let me tell you something, man.
I would want to hurt him. In boxing, you sign up for this, bro. Like I don't understand why people get so emotional. You can get. As the nicest person in the world can kill someone or get killed. So I mean, that's the way.
If he wasn't living in fucking libtard, cucked out Canada, if he was living like down here in South America or something, he wouldn't even see jail. There would be a mob of people. They would find him. They would strip him naked, toss him in the street, pour gasoline all over him, and burn his ass. That's what I'm not playing. That's what would happen to him. And I support that.
BDA, you're gonna take that shit from him? As a Canadian?
No, I've seen that. Precise is right. I've seen videos of that.
Yeah, in Brazil, they take the law into their own hands. I mean, listen, worst case scenario, they do
there was this guy like maybe 300 miles from here. He was basically doing what he was doing, child porn. He was kidnapping these girls and whatever. They found his ass, like just people from villages. They found his ass, and well, it was all over for him. It did not end well for him. That's what happens. That's what should happen to people who do these things, right? That's how you get rid of fucking crime. That's how you send a message. Sending somebody to prison to stand fucking license plates, he ain't paying his dues. He's getting off easy. That's just my opinion. We don't have to agree.
Can I say something? I mean, I knew for years that he was pimping and that he was in jail, and but up till now, up till this morning, I didn't know what exactly happened. So I was reading the articles. I hate to see those kind of news. I hate to see people getting hurt in boxing, but after reading those the interviews with girls and what Canadian reporters wrote about him, man, it was so fucked up. The things he did, like he was like repeatedly raping the girls and the underage girls, and treating with life. They were
I didn't know he was. I didn't know that was that. I'll murder him. Yeah, I would have choked him.
All right.
One of those girls was saying like he was treating them. He said something like, "You either choose, either I stick the." And man, I don't fucking care if he dies. Man, I don't fucking. I mean, I was never that kind of person to. I hate violence and all that, but with that kind of people, I don't fucking care. It's a karma. He well deserved.
Wait a minute. But low place worships this guy.
All right, listen, we don't want to fucking get it.
I don't sick, demented, twisted, retarded crackhead.
Exactly. We're gonna hold on. I'd rather hear what Apology has to say than talk about with a guy we know already is a fucking insane guy. Or so, Apology, go ahead.
I was going to continue talking about it.
Nah, shut up. Shut up.
Well, real quick on Precise's point, I think just the way his way South America works, the whole punishing crimes and stuff like that. I can agree to a certain extent that's not that from happening. And you see in the Western society now that is so liberal, so soft, so dumbed down that there's degeneracy everywhere. I think if we got people got punished properly, then this sort of stuff wouldn't keep happening.
Well, that's a good point, because if you look at those societies, small societies, best case scenario for the rapist, they exile him. Worst case scenario, they meet an awful end to their lives, or sometimes a slow end to their life. So, listen, you have to take a stand in life. You have to pick a position and stick with it. But I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to know exactly where we're. I mean, who am I to decide? This guy should die. This guy should. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at right now. I can't. I wouldn't want to see the guy die in a coma. But again, did he really pay his debt to society? 3 years for what he allegedly did.
Well, we're not deciding anything, bro. It's out of our hands. We're just expressing our opinion, you know. The thing that gets me is that people get on the internet and they'll virtue signal about a scumbag like Adonis Stevenson trying to show the world how, you know, caring and whatever the fuck they are. But then they'll say support our troops, knowing damn well that we're sending all these men to their death and to kill millions of innocent people all over the world. Then they'll turn around and say that. So people's priorities are all fucked up.
That's true.
And I just don't respect any of that. Like Adonis Stevenson, he should have got a death penalty many years ago. Period.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he if anyone deserved, he deserved that. And I mean, everybody has a right to hate those kind of people. I mean, what the fuck? I was on boxing scene today and chatting with some idiots there, and I just don't know that there's a lot of them who are defending him, and I was like. Man, of course, people are supposed to. They are free to hate those kind of people. I mean, you're not. You should be angry of what he did, not of those guys who are posting things about him, about the truth, about the things he done in the past.
Most people don't know what he did. I think you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are getting mixed up. I think people are getting mixed up with my point about it. About Stevenson. I'm just saying, if it happened in the street, someone shot him for his crimes, then it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother that. But because it's in a boxing ring, I just don't want to see people getting killed in a boxing ring. It's not good for boxing. And I'm not about that, wishing death on a man in a boxing ring. I just,
I agree with you. Sorry, I recognize. I want to just add something. Sorry, recognize. I'll be quick. I just want to say that, man, fuck. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, recognize.
No, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What I was going to say was that I guarantee you know who's going to feel bad about all this if he died or whatever. Vosdick will feel bad.
Oh yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you why.
No,
I'm gonna tell you why.
You're gonna say low place.
Well, hold on.
Yeah. The reason why, because he's gonna say now whether it'll change his performance or not. I don't know about that. I think he's got his head right.
Yeah. Oh shit, were you finished?
That's it. Just beat him up and take his belt and win the fight. It's within the rules of competition and whatever. But I do feel bad that he passed away. He's gonna be like, yeah, I feel bad for the guy, but. You know, this whole thing that you have to feel bad for him, I say like this. I leave it up to the individual, all right? Life experience has taught me that there's always two sides of the story. Always two sides of the story. And I get it. If you're the victim of something, you can't, and you've only been the victim of something, you cannot understand how it is for somebody else who did something that they regret, okay? And a lot of times it happens over revenge or whatever. And look, I can speak from it personally. I won't give out anything, you know, but like I lost my brother. My brother was murdered 20 years ago. My brother didn't live a good lifestyle. He just didn't. He lived a lifestyle of somebody who had a lot of regret, resentment, and I can even remember him telling me he did something that, you know, was unforgivable to somebody else. And he said, you know, he told me one time, you know, I fucked up. Life is over. Like pretty much life is over for me. So he accepted who he was, but he tried to get better. I can remember him trying to get better. But the demons, you know, whatever he decided to do, the demons, whatever it was, I don't know what the fuck, I don't know if it was demons or not. Whatever it was, it got the best of him. And in the end, he paid for it with his life because he went too far. He went too far. I could accept that, even though that was my older brother, and I could accept that, and I could accept that there's people that say fuck him at the same time. Fuck him that he's dead.
Yeah, I can understand. I can respect your position and Precise's position in the sense that I'm not nearly as experienced as anybody in this panel or out there in the world. I wouldn't be a good leader to decide. Yeah, this guy's gotta die because I'm too. I don't know. The way I was raised, I can't go ahead and say, yeah, I wish that guy was dead. I mean, I've thought about it, about certain people, certain real scumbags. But in this case, listen. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, it's hard for me to go against my programming and saying, yeah, fuck that guy, he should die. But I can certainly understand the point of view, man. It's just, for me, it's just an emotional thing that I can't get past right now. Maybe in 10 years it'll be different.
Yes, I'm the same, bro. I'm not a do-gooder. I don't care that Precise feels that way or recognise. It doesn't mean anything to me. Do you know what I mean? Because that's their opinion, and they've got a right. He's a piece of shit. So if they feel that way, fair. It's just the way, like I said, I've been brought up not to wish death on, especially a man that does a sport that I've loved all my life. I just don't. If he got shot on the street doing this fucking drug dealing or whatever he wants to do, then so be it, man. Or a revenge attack or whatever.
Right, he would
fucking shot him in the head. Me.
He would get what he had coming to him, what he decided to do if something like that happened.
Yeah.
Or if he, like I said, he decided to box. Right. He decided to say, look, I'm a strong guy. Let me see if I can make some money boxing. And if he dies in that, that's a choice he made. There's going to be some people that don't mind him dying, and there's going to be some people that are like, I feel bad for him. And even regardless that they know that he actually raped women or little girls and destroyed lives. He may be sorry about it, but at the end of the day, he still did that. And I think that revenge and karma has already caught up to him before what happened with Vosdik.
Well, I just want to point out that, like, hold on, bro, please. Yeah. My position is not emotional. I've never had any family members have anything like remotely like that happen to. It has nothing to do with emotion. Yeah, I get heated because I disagree. It's purely pragmatic and logical. People like that don't need to exist in our society. That's all I'm talking about. It makes sense. For the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. Fuck him. He ruined so many lives. He should have even been allowed to become a boxer. He should have been off a long time ago, and it would have made the world a better place. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with emotion. I give him props. He's a very good fighter. I've praised him for his skill. It has nothing to do with emotion. It just makes sense.
Well,
get rid of people like
that. Let me just say something. Let me just hold on. Let me just say something. I hope you weren't talking about, because I don't know if you're talking about what I said about emotions, but I was talking about me from an emotional standpoint. I feel that I can't say that, but I understand that for me it's just an emotional standpoint, not being able to say fuck that guy, let him die. But I wasn't saying that about you, that you were being emotional or speaking out of emotion. I just wanted to get that clear.
I'm a very cold-hearted person.
No
So
kidding,
it's not
man.
like it's not emotional for me.
It's not cold-hearted to wish that upon someone who's done that. I don't feel like that's cold-hearted. That's logical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it stops people from doing it again.
It's not just
pragmatic. It just makes sense. It's logical. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not nice. I mean, he's just had a little girl. It's not nice that she might grow up without even knowing her dad. You got to take into account there's other people involved. That's my stance on it. Stevenson has himself a piece of shit. Yeah, he's just had a baby.
You know,
something,
for me,
and
good
sorry,
Lord.
Fisher, go ahead, Fisher.
I just want to say, me personally, I may be emotional about this thing because I know somebody who went through those kind of things, and I know how, because see, in the world, I'm looking at it from my point of view is a bit different from yours, guys, because I understood that if you're very often in this life, if the people see that you're non-threatening, everybody is going to be ready to do the bad things to other people just because they know that they won't defend themselves or stand for themselves. And I know a person who went through that shit, and fact, when I read those articles today, I was so fucked up, and I was thinking profoundly about all that, and sometimes it just reassured my point of view that you cannot be soft. I mean, I'm not explaining this very well. Maybe you will not understand, but I don't know. Sometimes in this world, when people are too soft and oh yeah, he did some bad things, but he should go on with his life. He should be free to enjoy his life beside the things he did.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what?
I just I cannot accept that because. As I said, if you're non-threatening, if people think that you're unable of doing some bad things in a retaliation, it's not good for you because all I'm saying is you should.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is that some people do deserve to pay for their actions. Right? I mean,
no. What I'm saying is that you should show the world that you're capable of doing some bad things to them if they stand in your way. So yeah, I'm like, fuck that piece of shit, and everybody should be free to hate him because.
Yeah, I think you know what? I'll put it to you this way. It's like some people say that there was a comedian that used to say, if somebody's found guilty of rape, the victim should have the right to rape them back. And I mean, I'm thinking, listen, people are saying people are saying in the chat room to move on because this subject's getting stale. But I'll just say this last thing: it wasn't that long ago that we moved from a society where everything went. It was a Wild West. You know, if you wanted to take something away from somebody, you took it. There was no UN, no United Nations, no World Court, nobody to protect you. Nobody was going to protest on your behalf. If the Mongols came over to your city and they pillaged and burned everything and raped everything, there was nothing you could do about it if you didn't fight back. That wasn't that long ago. This whole thing about empathy and redemption for prisoners started very recently. So it's something we got to wrestle with, man. And if you think that some people don't deserve redemption, yeah.
Ask a quick question.
Question.
What happened the trial? Did he get convicted?
He definitely, he was convicted.
Specifically.
He was convicted. Well, what specifically, I don't know, but I do know for a fact that even his lawyer.
Just only pimping.
Just in the pimping. There
Okay.
you go.
Hey guys, I got something to say. I'm gonna quote the Bible here, Luke 20.
Oh God.
Yes, please.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Father,
I thought he was going to tell me.
Lord, they do not know what they are doing.
Hold on. I want to hear what he has to say about the Bible. I know the I know the quote, by the way. I know the quote, but
Luke
go ahead.
23:34, bro.
Go
Father,
ahead.
forgive them, for they do not know what they do.
That's right.
They do know what they do. Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was making this young girl. Oh, sorry, that's my bad.
Well, wait, he said that, but he said that
finish, please.
to Jesus's. I don't mean to go against Jesus, but he was saying that he was already fucking in their grasps, so didn't really quite work out that well. But I'll quote another from the Bible. I got my own quote here. The first to apologize is the first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest, and the first to forget is the happiest. All right, listen.
Hallelujah.
Was that? Yeah. Listen, real quick, I got a question for you guys, because this is interesting about moving away from the moral philosophy 101 here. From a physiological standpoint, it's interesting how you never really quite know when a guy is going to get seriously hurt, because it's not like he was taking. Usually, the guys that suffer brain damage are the guys that take punches nonstop throughout the fight, but little punches that don't necessarily knock them out or stun them. I didn't really quite see that against Gvozdyk. I mean, he was taking some shots, especially at the end.
Vicious punch.
Was that?
He's a very heavy-handed fighter.
You gotta look at the facial reaction. Go look at the facial reaction. It's just you can see that he was. Can you predict? Can you look at that and say, "Oh, he's gonna have brain damage"? I'm not saying that, but that was a vicious shot that he caught him with. It was a couple of shots, but that straight. What was the straight?
What about that?
Go ahead.
You want about the last punch?
Yes. Oh shit! That was
that's what's caused the brain damage. Because if you actually watch the punch, it forces his head back like he was in a fucking car crash.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's
the whiplash.
Exactly, Stu. It was a whiplash. Yeah, that's a human head, human body's not meant to take that. Obviously, right? You can see that something happened there. Sometimes that can happen. And nothing, you're unscathed. Maybe you're not, you're dizzy or whatnot. But sometimes you can end up with a concussion. Even worse in his situation.
Unless you're Tyson Fury.
But he was hurting him all night. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, because Stevenson has a really good poker face, and he wouldn't show it, but he was catching him with that really short right hand all night and hurting him maybe 2 or 3 times. He hurt him.
Yeah.
So,
but that last punch, P. I mean, that ran the brain against the skull, and I bet that's what's caused the swelling.
Like
it was a good fight. It was a good fight, man. And
Stevenson's so one-dimensional, though. I mean, it's just that left hand. That's all. It just throws that left hand. That's all he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a matter of time for Stevenson because he could get away with that when his reflexes were better. But now that he fought a younger guy, very skilled. We were talking about this before this fight even took place, where I was asking people like, who do you guys think is better, Gvozdyk or Bivol? Because I'm very high on Gvozdyk. But to tell you the truth, I didn't know if he was going to be able to withstand Stevenson's punch. He clearly did. So now the question is Gvozdyk versus Bivol the logical fight to make to decide who the number one guy is?
Yes, make it happen.
Bivol boxes his head off.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if you could box Gvozdyk's head off. I think you can. I think that you can maybe spark him out, maybe, but I don't know about boxing his head off. Nah,
he's too quick. He's too quick for him.
And what do you think? And what do you think Gvozdyk is? You think he's too slow or something?
Oh, I'm not saying he's slow. I'm just saying he's too quick for him.
Don't forget about Beterbiev. I know he hasn't been looking too hot and he's been inactive, but he's in the mix too. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying, I was agreeing with you, Pete.
Yeah.
He might be the stronger of the all three of them.
True. And as far as Stevenson, he never really fought a technician. I mean, when did he fight someone who's? Because I would say Stevenson, as one-dimensional as he is, he's a technician. But then he finally fought one, and he was just better technically than he was. I can't recall anybody that was remotely technical that that Stevenson fought. Maybe you guys could help me out here.
And
I
not
think
only
Chad Dawson, probably Chad Dawson. That's the only one I can think of. But that
Yeah,
never
but
really
there was
got.
no fight
Never
there.
really got. Yeah, there's no fight. We never got a chance to see him deal with that sort of style. I mean, Chad Dawson showed how vulnerable he was that night, because that night, I mean, it was a good shot, but fuck me, he was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And Stevenson's fought a lot of fights since that, and he's never done that to anyone since, has he? He's knocked people out, don't get me wrong, he stopped them, but he's not done what he did to Chad Dawson since. So
I mean, if anything,
And
Chad
Dawson was
Dawson,
overrated as fuck anyway.
As far as I'm concerned,
beat his ass.
as far as I'm concerned,
good.
all Canadians deserve to get to a coma.
Now you know what? I know you're kidding. I know you're kidding.
Boxing stars trolling. He had too many shandies last night in the Fury fight. He's all hyped up, isn't he, bless him? He sees a fight, he's come back and he's all hyped up. He's raring to go.
Hold on, Richie.
And what kind of technician loses to Jean Pascal? That's all I want to say. Technician don't lose to that guy.
No, but if you were going to talk about basic boxing skills with a bit of technique, and he was half decent. He wasn't a bad fighter, Chad Dawson, this day. He wasn't brilliant. He was
Just getting jerky
as a
with
boxer,
me.
he was quite decent. He was, and that's probably the best one he has fought. Until Vosnik really surprised me. I knew Vosnik could box, but he was on fire against Stevenson. I thought he was brilliant.
Hey,
It was in the
and
zone.
you know what? It's not only his skills that made a lot of trouble to Stevenson, but also his pace. He fought at an amazing pace. He was fighting 3 minutes around, and not only that, but he is super fast. And I haven't seen for a long time a guy that's that fast, both with his feet and his hands. He's super fast. I mean, his footwork is, of course, it's very good. But I saw sometimes there was like many times in the fight last night that he tried to switch the angles on Stevenson, but sometimes he was forcing it when he was not in place to do it. Like he would hop sideways to Stevenson, but he was either too far away from Stevenson to do it, and Stevenson nearly cut him with counters a couple of times while doing that. So I'm just saying he just needs to be more aware of his feet placement while
He's got 16 fights, bro. You know what I mean? Like, he's a novice.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked about him, he changed it up because he was throwing single punches early on in the fight, trying to just box, throw the single jab here and the single, and it weren't working because you don't do that to counter punches.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get knocked out. When you find a counter puncher, you have to throw combinations so they don't get a chance to set and then get out of there. And that's what.
But he's not just a puncher. He's not just a counter puncher, bro. He's a puncher. All it takes is one punch. So you don't want to exchange with the guy. You gotta outbox him.
And that's the thing.
Then again, but when you're throwing single shots and you're getting countered all the time, he wasn't outboxing him at all in the early rounds. I don't think. I just think it was even, but he wasn't really. And then he came out. He caught him in the third, didn't he? I think it was dropped him in that lot. And then he started letting his hands go, and that's when he took over the fight. But the single shots don't work when you're fighting counter punches, big punches at that. You have to.
Well, but this is the Ukrainian school of boxing, right? They will study you for the first couple of rounds. They won't do very much, and then they turn it maybe Usyk and Loma do the same thing.
That's a dangerous game to play against big punches, though. You know, having a look, because you might be fucking waking up and you'll be looking at the lights in the hospital. So,
well, it's a good point that you guys make about Gvozdyk, because you know I forget which fight it was where there was a guy, American guy, was just covering up, and Gvozdyk was just pity patting, but he does the Lomachenko thing where he mixes the speed up. Like you guys were saying, he taps you here, taps you there, and then boom, every once in a while he'll bang you with a hard one shot. You can tell he's got very good fundamentals. So it's going to be a very dangerous guy to fight, to beat. And at this light heavyweight division, there's no shortage of fantastic fighters. Like you guys, Beterbiev, Alvarez, Kovalev is still out there. And I got a question also, real quick, because we do have to go soon. Gvozdyk, again, somebody asked a question, I think it was recognized, but whether Gvozdyk is going to be the same fighter after this, you know, let's say Stevenson pulls out, it might still be a little easier than if he would have murdered Stevenson in the ring. But usually when guys put this type of beating on somebody, they don't come out the same. Kovalev was a bit of a cold-hearted guy. I don't think he cared all that much, or at least didn't give the impression that he cared about, that he beat up a guy to death. Do you think Vozik is going to be the same, or you think his style isn't going to change all that much?
He doesn't give a fuck, man. He doesn't give a shit. In my opinion, he's a nice guy. He's a well-spoken guy. He's a family man. They just all they got to do is just read him Stevenson's rap sheet, and he's gonna be all right. He's gonna cry, and he's gonna say how bad he feels and how he has to, you know, recover mentally, blah blah blah. He won't give a fuck. He'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, the Eastern European fighter, the Eastern Europeans in general, especially the fighters, have got a different mindset to the soppy Westerns. We're all weaklings in the West now, and we're all a bit of violence. They haven't got that. And then it's just.
I can already see low players get into the hospital with flowers and knocking on Adonis Stevenson.
He can't.
He got hurt. I mean, fuck.
And then Adonis is like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Exactly.
Man.
They're gonna call security.
He threw him under the bus. I heard Bucho was saying he threw him under the bus in some post live stream.
He was being hypocritical because he claims that he's not biased.
Listen,
he claims that he always claims that
he's
he's
a
neutral.
very loyal boxing fan.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I mean, I think you're being sarcastic because the guy he pretends to be unbiased, but then he titled his stream while he was watching the Vozik Stevenson fight. He titled it "Beat That Bitch's Ass," referring to Stevenson to beat. So come on, I mean the guy, and then he's crying that Stevenson's in the hospital. I mean this guy is mental. That's why I don't even like talking about him because we might as well talk about Charlie Zelenoff or Charles Manson or some of the other psychos throughout history.
What if somebody from Vosdick team saw that stream and saw that Low Place titled it? Maybe this is all Low Place's fault. How about that?
Oh, are you gonna put? No, don't put it on him because.
No, this is Low Place's fault. This is what happens when you troll. When you troll and you put up titles like "Beat That Bitch's Ass," referring to him as a bitch, and for a guy who was convicted for prostituting bitches, right? So there you go. I mean, maybe it's all Low Place's fault.
You know what? Recognize if you say that.
It's the low place curse, isn't it? The low place curse.
Listen.
I'm sorry I brought him up, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, precise. I'm gonna put this one on you, man. This is your fault for bringing him up. No, I mean I knew it was gonna.
It is. I apologize.
No. I'm kidding. Listen, it was. I eventually we were gonna have to. Because listen, the guy was trolling. He's been trolling for months, and you can if people haven't realized yet that he's out of his goddamn mind. I don't know what to tell you, man. I think some people get fooled because based on the fact that he's a semi-well-spoken guy, so he seems normal at first. Then you just listen to his streams and you realize he's not playing with a full deck of cards. All right, now
he's mentally ill for sure.
Yeah. Now listen, let's get down to business here.
Hey, I got a question. Where's our LDBC members? The two that we have, three or two that we have.
Oh, they're not showing their faces around here.
Oh no, this is too early for them to show off their face.
Yeah, you talk about getting it wrong. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna say, "Well, he almost got him out of there." Yeah, almost doesn't cut it in boxing. Either you do it or you don't. And I don't know. It's some people in the comment section of the videos that I did breaking the fight down, they were like, "Yeah, he's gonna knock him out." They haven't showed they would have shown their faces, the guys over there in that video. They would have shown their faces if Wilder would have won. But now that hopefully,
oh yeah,
hopefully they'll learn something from this. Hopefully they'll learn that you can't pick fights with your heart, and that maybe you shouldn't be so emotionally invested in a guy that you'll never get to meet, and he doesn't give a rat's ass about you. You know what pisses me off too, real quick? Those guys that wear. Like the LeBron. I don't know if any of you guys do it, so I'm sorry if you do, but I gotta tell you the truth how I feel about this. Those people that wear the LeBron James T-shirt or the the Ronaldo T-shirts, like you're wearing the shirt with the name of another man who's you're never gonna meet. He's never gonna give you scraps or anything, and you're worshiping another man like that. I mean, I know we do it to a certain extent too, maybe with boxing, but at least it's fighters. You know what I mean? And these people that were worshiping Wilder, you know, almost getting on their knees and you know, accepting. If Wilder came up to them and said, "Listen, can I stick it in?
I want you to
Just
have my baby."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just let me stick that.
I got Vanes Martirosas t-shirts. I got Vanes Martirosas t-shirts. You know.
No, you have a tattoo of Martirosyan. You have a tattoo of Martirosyan on your left butt cheek. Is it on the? Is it on the left butt cheek or the? Is it on the left butt cheek or the right butt cheek? The tattoo.
It's no butt cheeks. How about that?
Oh, jeez. All right. Anybody else got anything to say before we go?
Yeah, maybe.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, good job moderating tonight, man. I thought the show was a little bit of that. So.
I'm sorry, you cut off there.
Good job cracking. Good job cracking the whip, BDA.
Oh well, I tried. Well, I'm trying. Well, I knew that everybody wanted to get their piece in after last night's sensational fight, so I didn't want it to get too crazy.
No, it's all good.
All right,
it's
good.
better that way.
Well, listen, the show wouldn't be the same without you guys. So you guys make this fucking show. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it until the show is over one day. The BDA train keeps on rolling, whether it's me or Bucho or Stu or anybody else manning the ship. The BDA brand will continue to live on. And by the way, speaking of the BDA brand, Eli Sekbak, last note, he was forced to give Fury a little bit of credit, but he still thinks that the fight could have gone either way. That's what he said.
Oh my God, that son of a bitch.
I know, man.
Let's not bring him up.
Let's not bring him up. Well, you brought up Lopley's apology too. Was that?
I got Jewish friends, bro. I'm good. It's just certain Jew friends that you just don't want to trust.
Just Zionist, man.
Yeah, don't call him Jews because that sets him off.
Let's call them Zionists.
How about Hebrew? Sounds better.
Just
I think that's worse.
I call him Hebrew sometimes. Works.
You call him? Yeah, well,
I didn't say that.
My pops
calls Zionist.
My pops calls him Judas.
Listen, fucking apology just said that he calls him Zionist. Don't say that in public, and definitely don't say that in your university because they're gonna kick you out, man.
Yeah, probably.
You know when you just said that fucking, because I'm in the kitchen eating some food, and when you said that Ellie Setback comment, I was that pissed with that comment. I fell off my chair and fucking landed in my dog bowl, didn't I? fucking got water all in my hair from a dog bowl.
Who the fuck still watches that guy and why?
Yeah, exactly, man. And by the way, he titles
his. Got a T-shirt of Ellie Setback.
Well, hold on a second. Fuck that.
Oh God.
The way he titles his videos, I'm obsessed with his videos because it's just so ridiculous. He titles his videos in Ebonics. So he'll write stuff like, the title of his videos will be something like Deontay Wilder be doing it, or Deontay Wilder be putting in work. I'm thinking, what the fuck? You're an Israeli Jew and you're writing as if you're a guy from the fucking hood. It's.
Yeah, but Ellie Setback, he makes George Soros look like a likable Jew.
Oh man! And by the way, Precise, remember a long time ago, a couple of months ago, I think it was during one of your first appearances, you brought up Zabatai Levi.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading up on him a little bit, and I gotta tell you, it seems like there's some people that still believe in what he said, man. Like there's some people that it's a little scary. I wonder.
Fucked up.
What's the story?
No, well, we're not gonna get into it right now, but just if you had the time, Google Zabatai Levi. And
just
then
quickly on setback. Just quickly on setback before you go. You know Tyson Fury don't like him and kicked him out the press conference.
Right.
Because he's a rat. He's been saying everything about Tyson Fury. And he went and sneaked his way in and got an interview with his wife. And he's obviously, she don't know who he is, so she's giving him an interview because Tyson's not there. And he's sneaking all these little questions in. And then he's titled it Fury's wife, keeping it real. Know what the title is, but it's something around them lines. And fucking he snaked his way in on Tyson Fury's wife, knowing that Tyson would never allow that interview to happen. and that just proves what sort of man Setback is. He knows Tyson doesn't want him around. He's not allowed to interview Tyson anywhere, and he goes and sneaks in and gets one with his wife, and then puts
Don't
it.
call him a man, bro. Don't call
he's
that
not.
thing a man.
The name of the guy again?
Eddie Juba.
It can't.
No, the other guy BDA was talking about.
I don't even know if I should be saying his name. Yeah.
Levi. Google Levi like Gene 1666. It should be able to come up.
Is it Zabatai or Shabatai?
Yeah,
question.
there's various spellings. This was a long time ago. We're not sure. Probably had a few pseudonyms too.
With an S or Z? The initial letter, S or Z? Well, we can't hear.
Either. Sometimes it's TS, ZI, or something like that. There's a bunch of different spellings, but it's SA. Just Google it, man. Google will help you out.
All right.
It'll
someone
you mean this guy.
Can someone tell me when Eddie Setback, when he's around Mexicans, he starts coming talking with this Mexican fucking accent. It's like Cheech and Chong from nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Why does he do that? He starts talking like Cheech and Chong, man, when he's around Mexicans, man. What the fuck?
Okay. Probably, please.
I think he's got Asperger's. And he just mixes in. He starts talking the same way that everybody talks around him. I think he certainly seems.
He's not all there.
Yeah, he's not all there.
He's one of them guys that got no mates. As soon as he's around a guy for a couple of hours, he starts picking up his habits, and before you know it, he's talking with his accent. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them. He's got no identity for himself. Like I said, he's not even a proper Jew, is he? Like people say. Do you know what I mean?
He recently got married, and I was like, "What? That can't be right."
Who the hell married that, man?
I mean, can you imagine how dull she is, though? What a boring old bitch she's going to be.
I don't think. I think she's probably really nice looking, but she's cheating.
Yeah, is she fuck? You imagine her with her slippers on. Do you want any sugar on your porridge, Ellie?
No.
Yeah, I heard that he's with some Russian girl. Probably she married him for his green card or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what Russian girls do. When you see these random looking guys with some fucking Russian looking like Anna Kournikova, there's fucking motive behind this.
Yeah, she's cheating. She's definitely cheating on him.
Oh yeah,
she's cheating for him, right? Yeah, of course she is.
Yeah.
She's cheating with him.
Or who knows? Who knows? Maybe Ellie Setback might be hung. Maybe he's like 13 inches and shit, man. You never know. 14 inches.
Oh yeah. When her husband goes to work, fucking Vladimir's popping around there, and if Vladimir or fucking Boris, one of them are going around there giving it a good seeing to while you're paying for a lifestyle. These guys, they don't learn. They're showing a lot of interest in you. Be very careful.
I tell you what, man. I just to end the discussion about Setback. I can tell just by looking at him, just by looking at his demeanor, his personality. He's the type of guy that doesn't move his hips when he fucks, and that is a recipe. That is a recipe for a divorce. He's like a official boxing scorecard said. Once that green card goes through, watch his wife go over to. She's probably already banging Robert Garcia or something, when they're filming the videos and everything. So
yeah, you get found by the whole Garcia family at the same time.
When you say his hip don't move, I think Vlad is pretty much the same thing. He's like a robot.
You think so? I don't know, man.
BDA one day pursues him to go to south of France.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, you should take him to France, man.
When you're talking about he don't move his hips, who was you talking about? Setback again?
Yeah, I was talking about Setback. Listen,
he's got no rhythm, is he? He's a one-hit wonder boy, and he's
he's
got. Yeah, can you imagine him?
Does Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto pretty good?
Ellie should have went MGTOW. Just saying.
By the way, yeah, okay. You didn't. You couldn't even hold the line on the MGTOW thing. Their apology. So
I know. Fuck me. it was like Apology just joined it for about 3 weeks, and then as soon as he went to university and saw them Beckys, he's fucking straight out there.
I'm still MGTOW at heart.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
That's why you're the only boy. When you're the only boy that watches the fucking cheerleading practice. What are you on about?
Oh, you know what? He sneaks into the women's locker room the same
gone.
way.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. We got him. By the way, Punch for Pound says today the NWO or whatever I haven't even gotten through 1/4 of it. Oh, okay, because hold on a second. I want to find the quote here. Punch for Pound was talking about Zabatai Levi because somebody was asking just for the last time because I hate bringing up the guy's name. We're gonna get our fucking stream cut off, but it's Zabatai Levi, 1660. What was the year precise? 1066.
1666.
There you go. And I'm trying to find Punch for Pound's quote here. He says there's a good book about that. Oh yeah, he says, whoever is talking, if you want to learn about this, search for Gershom Scholem. He's got books on Amazon. He gives the history of Jewish mysticism, including Zabatai Levi. I'm not saying that has any relevance. Man, there's a whole bunch of mystic traditions, man. I mean, if you read about the Kabbalah and even the Muslims, they have Sufism. Although I'm not that familiar with it, but I know every religion has their unofficial branch that they don't they sort of want to keep in the back burner.
So this guy is like the messiah for Masons? Is that what it is?
From what I understand,
it
go ahead,
kind of
Precise.
evolved into that over time and branched out into that, but it's all connected. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
BDA.
I'll tell you, he's a very high level member of the Freemasons. Paul McCartney. He's really high member.
Oh, come on, not my Paul McCartney.
Good thing you mentioned the topic because have you talked about the ring walk for Wilder Fury? Because Wilder with the things he's wearing, man, more and more he seem weird to me. First of all,
All right, we're getting some lagging.
watching their ring entrances, it looked either like some satanic shit or some faggot shit or mix of both.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looked pretty goddamn cool. I mean, you might consider it kind of gay, but it looked nice. The golden shit. It was like he looked like a fucking king, like when he was walking in. They both did that shit.
You think Wilder looked nice last night?
Not a gay nice, bro. You know what you're talking. You know.
He looked ridiculous, bro. The fucking guy had feathers around his neck.
Yeah,
I mean, I was from far away, but I saw like the typical bronze bomber shit that he wears. It was golden instead of that.
And he had a crown. He had a crown. He had a crown on his head that looked like it was made at some fucking kindergarten by the kids.
But still, it looked nice. It wasn't that bad. I mean, they're entertainers for crying out loud, you know.
Guys, it don't take a lot to entertain you, but
not much at all.
On top of that, his talk of how he's going to, he would like to get pregnant, and mixed with the masks he was wearing. I mean, it's so weird. I have nothing against Wilder, but the shit, I just didn't like that shit.
Yeah. Did you guys notice how Fury humbled him, and in the press conference he was actually likable and normal and real? Deontay Wilder. I don't know if you guys watched the post-fight press conference, but he seemed like likable actually.
Well,
I just saw the Fury post-fight conference, but not Wilder's.
Yeah, he was actually bearable.
So you thought he was humbled by the fact that he got
sure.
schooled?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was actually singing the Chevy to the Levy song. It was hilarious. I forgot the name of that song.
Well, I don't know what song that is.
Miss American Pie, that one.
Oh yeah, that one. Well, he came out to. Yeah, Wilder. All right, sorry.
Yeah, good stream, guys.
Wilder was gonna come out.
Checking out LDBC the other day, one of them streams, and I got banned for saying that Tyson Fury is the better boxer, and I triggered some dude on the stream. He started like yelling, "Get that fuckboy shit out of here! Fuck you, man." He's like these people, man. Whew.
Yeah, they're way gone.
Honestly,
wait a minute. What channel were you
I'm gonna
on?
keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real, man. They are probably. There's a certain group. It's not all of them, not all, but there's a certain group of them, and they're probably the most disliked people on the planet. And then they wonder why everyone hates them, and but it's just the way they are. They're hard people to like, and that's a certain group of these people that are in the boxing community that just don't.
It's like you can't even express your opinion. Like you disagree, and like this guy just was like he wanted to fight me just because I said. I mean, the whole world knows he's the better boxer. It's not even anything controversial that I'm saying.
Precise.
And to him, it was like blasphemy.
Yeah. I mean, that's how left wing they are. They claim to be fucking alpha males, but they're all lefties.
Yeah.
They're like Marxist lefties, most of them, and they're always getting offended, aren't they? I bet they've got their little fucking safe space there, haven't they?
Emotional as fuck. And everybody, one last thing, everybody in their chat room is a fucking mod. Everybody.
yeah. Yeah, that's what Butcher told me. Everybody, they got an army of mods. So no matter what you say, they're gonna fucking ban you. They're like ants. They're like bees.
Yeah, you're either a mod or you're getting banned.
Exactly.
It's black and white, literally black and white.
Precise. I was gonna say, what channel were you on? Because I went to Boxing Eagle and Dante's Boxing Nation, and almost all of them said that Fury won that shit.
Yeah.
Into the jungle. I forget
that's what I call him, boxing homo.
Those are the gatekeepers of the community. I went like fucking knees deep in the horse shit.
You went to the devil's area, the pit.
I forget what the channel's called, but they have a lion for their logo. It's like a cartoon lion.
Cartoon lion. It's like they got the what's the name? The tiger from the sugar flakes or whatever the fuck they call it.
The kitty cat den.
It's not Tony the Tiger, it's Tyrone the Tiger.
The Tyrone the Tiger.
Yo, here's a story, my man.
I don't subscribe to these channels because you could be having a good day, just put on YouTube and go through your subscriptions, see the titles of their videos, and it just fucking makes you angry, doesn't it? Because these fucking guys are grade A clowns. And so I can't subscribe. I think it's healthy if you stay away from them channels because
I agree with you because this morning after the fights, BDA was talking about 78's live stream, and I tried to listen it, but I couldn't stand more than 30 seconds. And later this evening, I tried the same and could not keep listening for more than 30 seconds. And I tried. I want to have a laugh, to have fun. But man, those guys were really
just a small correction. Just a small correction. He wasn't. That was Bucho who was. He does the cover operations. I don't listen to. No, that's okay. But just to clarify, I don't like listening to those shows. I gain nothing from them except every once in a while, maybe.
BDA.
Yeah.
BDA. I heard Pavel's doing the new undercover. He's going undercover again in the LDBC.
Well, he's gonna have to stay sharp out there because those guys can spot. They got experience with police officers. Let's just put it that way. Now, listen.
You know what he said? He said he was trying to get them to admit that homosexual sex is alpha male.
I would. You know what? I don't know if somebody told me that they said that. I would believe it. Like, I don't know if you're kidding or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're...
In the Gore's Lair group chat, he said he's going to try and make them admit it.
Did you guys notice how they've been avoiding Wilder's pregnancy like wildfire, man? They won't even touch that shit.
Yeah.
They act like it never happened. The biggest clickbaiters in YouTube, like, have an opportunity to, out Deontay, but...
Mind you, don't they usually do that with their girlfriends as well?
Oh... Well, remember anyway, listen, apology. I know you wanted to hear this before we go. This was the song that Wilder was supposed to walk out with, but he eventually went with another choice. But let's play it. This is Apology. He loves this track as well, so let's play it. Deontay Wilder's original track.
I think about this dude that I fucked last night, and how his dick was big and his ass was tight, sucking on my cock like a candy cane, rubbing on my balls and fucking out my brains.
One never knows when the homosexual is about.
All right. By the way, the connection is fucking up. I think.
Was that his ring? Was that his supposed ring entrance music?
Yeah, that was gonna be his official. That was gonna be his official. Oh, you didn't hear it?
Hey again.
Yeah,
No, I'm
because
joking.
the connection is.
Well,
the connection.
after that pregnancy comment, I'm surprised he didn't walk out to fucking A Woman's Work by Kate Bush. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we're cutting off. That's why the connection is cutting off. I think somebody wants us out. They don't want us to broadcast what's going on. But this was the other song he wanted to come out to. All right. You know what it's about.
Can I make a confession?
Please don't.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I knew it.
I like that. I don't know why I like that song.
He should have come out of the stadium with a baby in his hand, some random baby, just grab it and just stadium shit.
I don't know, man.
I like all that. I like all that. Hey, apology. I like all that sort of music. I like Shalimar and all Chic and all that. I like all that 70s, 80s stuff.
Yeah, it's really like catchy. It gets stuck in your head.
Because I'm getting a bit old, I play it in my car, and some of my mates like, get this fucking shit off, man. But no, you leave these tunes alone, man. All right.
Exactly.
Wilder has childbearing hips, though.
All right, listen. On that note, we have to fucking go. That's it. I'm putting a stop to this, man.
Yeah.
The stream is fucking.
Man, he's obsessed with.
Listen, the stream.
What did I say?
All right, fuck it. The stream.
I think you got. I think you got a new crush. I think Beyonce.
I got no crush at all, bro.
I think it was all the. It was all the Sabatai Zivite talk. It's getting us fucked up. The connection is getting fucked up. It's. They're on to us, man. They're on to us. So I think we got to stop now before it's too late. All right. So.
I'm gonna. And on that note, I'm gonna go to sleep. So, good show, guys.
I'm out.
Take
guys.
it easy, everybody.
I got 5 hours to sleep before I got to get up. So I'm out.
Oh, before we do go, just want to shout out to
ass up boxing style.
Get your ass to sleep then, bro.
Shout out to Steven Schneider.
To sleep.
I'll come in and tuck you in.
Shout out to Steven Schneider.
You'd like to and all.
My goodness gracious.
The way you've been talking about Wilder, I believe that.
All right, shout out to Steven Schneider for his contribution. The connection, it's sort of the stream is very choppy. People are saying, I tell you, they're on to us, man. NSA, all these other organizations, they got caught a whiff of what we were discussing, and they want to shut it down. So, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks to Steven Schneider for his contribution. I want to thank everybody that was here as well.
As you were talking about Wilder's pregnancy.
Exactly, the genetic manipulation. I want to thank Official Boxing Scorecards too. Apology Man, Boxing Style, Recognize was here earlier as well. Boxing Blondes. Shit, who am I forgetting? Who else was here that I might have forgotten? Boxing Blondes. Style. No, Boxing Style. I already named you. Fuck. How many times you want me to say your name?
Playing with you, bro.
You're still on the. Yeah, you're still on the adrenaline from last night. And I want to thank Precise as well. I want to thank Bucho who came by and he gave us the predictions from the BDA staff, who got it right, who got it wrong. Again, guys, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one, probably during the week. Bucho or myself will do it. Also give a shout out to everybody that was in the chat room. Steven Schneider, Nicola Ferrari, Pop-Tart Gone, John Gonzalez, Tinkerbell, Shane Levine, Mateus Lise, Ronald Finkley, Nicola Ferrari, John Gonzalez, Apology Man was there, Reverse Lee, shout out to Reverse. Who else, man? Said Ham B, Caccinello, Give Me My Fight, The Fight Scout. Did I already mention Shepherd of Sons? Pop-Tart Gone, Nicola Ferrari, Boxing Style was at Nino Gaji, BMK777K, Koran Bread, and many more. You guys know who you are. You make this show the best one. I wish I could read more of the comment section every once in a while, but you see how it works, guys. Everybody wants to get their word in. I can't stop the fucking show all the time. But we do our best. We still got some good fights before the end of the year, and we'll be back to talk about them. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe to BDA Live, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, folks.